Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, welcome along, good evening, wherever you are, good day, if it's the middle of the day for you, welcome along. I am Ben from Tsujigiri Collective. This is our top 32 Friday night competition, plus a few extras this evening, and we are about to get going. It is 2000 UTC on a Friday night, 8 PM Friday UK time, and that means it's time to do some drifting. Sadly not for me, I don't get to go drifting anymore. I'm so poor and alone and unable to do the thing. But we have a great competition for you this evening. We've got some really fantastic drivers lined up tonight. We've got some seasoned pros, actual pro competition drivers from real life. We've got a fair few guys that are now on the pro scene with their sim driving, and we've got some guys that we've simply never seen before. So welcome along. You guys in the chat, who have we already got? We've got Snox, we've got Gramberg, hello guys, Oliver Eppinger with a party of 7, hello Oliver plus you 7. Arcturus FPS, hello, welcome along, and Josh, actually I'm in love with this section. Okay, I'm going to assume that you don't mean my lovely little corner of the internet, and you mean that track layout, which is excellent. What I'm going to do is, in a second, I'm going to drop into the main chat with all of the drivers in. They will probably be swearing at one another, so I apologise for that in advance. I will wrangle them into some sense of order, and then I will show you guys the track as part of tonight's briefing. Sirin, hello. Fatality, hello. Welcome along, both from Joshified. Well, it's nice of you to say so, darling. Thank you. We appreciate it. Let's go talk to these reprobates. Come with me, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. This is always horrific when I first drop in here. There's a huge bundle of names. Let's do it. Nobody swear I am live. Nobody swear I am live.
Get your swearing out the way now.
No, not now, not now. I'm here. I'm already here. I'm already here. It's time for you to stop it.
Get our swearing out right now.
No, Christopher Viltovsky of the Virtual Drift Championship. I don't have a beep button yet, and I damn well need one for you. Right.
Hang about. What was that? What was that word you just used?
I can say damn. Damnation! Let's put something on in the background that actually looks like drifting. Right. Finish your runs, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Finish your runs. This is your final practice run before briefing. Briefing will be given live to you here, so that if you want to ask questions, you can, and then you will be able to see the diagram in the Twitch, or you can bring it up in the track briefing section of the competition info on the Discord. But please, finish your runs. Do not start any more runs. People who are doing burnouts at the end of the pit lane, it is time for you to stop.
Time to stop.
Just stop. You need to stop. Who is this? Someone has just started heading down. Next person that does it will be kicked from the competition. Do not start a run. Someone in a Jade. There we go. F15. So I see Josh is still out on track, or Craddy, or someone is still out in a Mustang. Let's get you round.
Woman and was like, woman's?
Women's! Right. Okay. It is briefing time. I am going to show you the track. You are going to listen quietly, and then you're going to ask your questions, and then you'll be allowed to continue practice until 1/2 the hour. On the Twitch, you will now be able to see the track map. It is transitioning across now. For those of you who are watching on Twitch, this is our track today. It is Sekia Hills, the legendary Japanese Sekia Hills. Sadly, now a horrifyingly macabre looking solar farm, and the reason for that is they've just left the track in underneath, and it is all still there, and none of us will ever be allowed to drive it again. That's it now. Nothing
Same as
for
YZ
you.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, same as YZ. YZ is a lovely solar farm as well. We might do around there as well, so we can all...
YZ East is still actually
YZ East is still active, that's correct. So, on your track map, you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen, that is our start line. It comes with all of the usual start line chicane shenanigans, courtesy of Chris's great invention of cones that will not move. So, if you hit those cones, you get a strike. It is a restart. You get a maximum of 3 strikes, and then you forfeit your battle. So do go through those cones with a little bit of care. The whole purpose of them is to stop the person in the right-hand lane, which is the lead lane, absolutely buggering off into the distance. That means you should respect the cones. They are there to make for a good battle. You guys who've been trying to racing line through them and making it 1 in every 5 attempts, you are going to end up marked down. The cones are not there just to make life hard. They are there for a reason, so please treat them as such. It is then a straight line run-in down to the initiation point. The judging line for the start of judging is just before clip 1. You are allowed, as a driver, a maximum of 2 changes of direction. And I'm going to clarify this because Chris and I disagree on the wording. That means, on this track, 1 flick to the right, and then your turn to the left is your full initiation. You are not allowed to go left, right, left. As you come out of the chicane, you can move slightly central on the track, but you guys are not to start whipping across in some enormous Dangoified manji. We want you to turn into the initiation with just a maximum of those 2 direction changes. To the right, to the left, those are 2 directions. That is it. It's done. You need to be initiated by the start of clip 1. If you have not been initiating before clip 1, if you are initiating once you get into clip 1, that will count as a straighten. The car must be sideways by the start of clip 1. You can be rotating 2 angle higher through clip 1, but you cannot have started your flick to the right at that point. You must be rotated into the correct direction going through clip 1. From clip 1, you can expect a loose mid-line from clip 1 down to clip 2. Clip 2 is on the outside edge of the track next to the sand pit of death. The cones are off the track. They are at the back in the sand pit. We are not expecting you guys to get anywhere near the cones. Obviously, that would be daft. TJ Doe, welcome. Thank you for the follow. You are expected to keep all of your wheels on track. A dirt drop here can be massively slowing. So, going into clip 2, a small wheel drop that does not result in a huge change of speed will be considered a minor. But this is probably the only clip you will see that we will do where a single wheel drop can lead to a major deduction, because it is possible to still have 2 wheels on the track, 1 wheel in the air, and by that I mean, like in VR yesterday during testing, I was looking up at the bottom of people's tyres and they still had only 1 wheel over the edge, and then 1 wheel in the sand. And if you do that, that is a major deduction, because the car will slow down like it has hit a wall, and the guy behind you has no chance of getting out of that. He will just plough into you. So, Density the Protogen, thank you for the follow. So, when you go through that section, make sure you are at maximum only ever so slightly dropping that wheel over the edge. A big wheel drop will cause you to lose marks very heavily. The decel zone doesn't start officially until after clip 2. So you guys can increase angle through clip 2, but we do not want to see people using handbrake in clip 2. Once you get through it, you are able to angle up. If you have got your line correct, you should be able to almost full throttle, maybe drop down a gear, and then hook up through this mid-inside line between 2 and 3. So when you get out to 2, on the throttle, the decel is after 2, and then you are pushing through on a mid-inside line to 3. We don't want to see wheels over the inside edge. We also don't want to see you running an outside line all the way around between 2 and 3. The guy in the chase position should be able to tuck up onto your inside, and he would then be on an inside line with wheels still on the tarmac. That's the perfect line through there, and that's then fast and smooth and takes you out to clip 3, which is another outside zone just before the infield section. Coming into 3, angling up will start to bring you into the infield. As you come up over that hump, we don't want to see people using brakes there. You should be effectively coming into that using the angle to slow you down, and then once you come over the bump onto the center of the track, then transition. We don't want to see jump transitions across. It won't work. You won't make it to 4. As you fire through there, up over that hump, then a fast transition to the inside line at 4. It is understandable if, when trying to get proximity, the chase car ends up with a wheel hooked over the inside curb at 4. In that situation, we will allow a small amount of wheel over the edge, as long as you are on throttle and maintaining proximity. The lead car should not be getting their front wheels onto the roundabout. They should be going cleanly round the outside edge. And then out to 5, where you have our first wall run there, and our only wall run really for this track, and that is a long outside clip around the wall all the way through 5. We want the lead car on that wall all the way to the end of the clip. Don't come away from it early. When you come out of that transition, out of that clip, it's straight into the transition across to 6 through the only sort of power alley section of this track. You should not be on the brakes into 6. The decel zone is after 6. You can be angling up through 6, but we don't want to see wheels locking up or people braking until they have got to the end. And the reason I say that is very specific. That decel is where we saw most of the issues in practice. So if you guys are brake checking early and trying to slow down early, then you will get marked down. We want the drivers to get through clip 6 at angle. If your rate to angle is good and you're slowing down naturally because your angle is high, that is fine, but we don't want to see you throwing the anchors out until you have got to the outside of clip 6, and then you can absolutely slow the car down. That gives you guys in the chase position a chance to come into 6 in close proximity and then start to give the lead a little bit of room so you don't make contact with them in the chase. You've got the chance there to settle the car, get that stable, and then get back onto their door into the inside line into 7. Now that should be a smooth flowing, almost racing line from an outside edge coming through 6 into that inside edge. If you tuck in too early and just end up hugging that curb all the way round, that is the wrong line. You should not be getting to the curve until almost a third of the way round it and then hooking through there. It's then a fast transition across. We've allowed another small decel there because you guys will have to readjust the cars to get tucked in onto 8. And that's another inside line just as you come across, and we expect you to go cleanly through 8 and out to the outside edge across the finish line, back round to the start. Now, in 6, through into 7 and through into 8, if you guys are throwing huge angle at it and you're slowing down using backwards entries and you're not using much brake, you're cleanly on the throttle and the arc is good and it is chaseable, we will allow that. If you are rotating hard to angle and the speed is just vanishing out the arse of the car and you are basically coming to a stop and doing a rolling burnout towards 7 and then across into 8, we will not allow that. That is an unchaseable lead. So if you guys have been practicing that and you know, and you'll all know, let's not beat about the bush here, you guys will know if you've been throwing backies and then the car's been coming to a grinding halt, you will get marked down. If you are coming through 6 and it's a smooth, chaseable arc all the way round into 7, we will allow the ultra high angle, backward style entries into there. But if we deem you to slow down enough to impede the chase driver, we will automatically award in their favour. In the same way as coming out into those slowdown zones in normal circumstances, so after 2 and after 6, we would automatically allow the favour to be swung towards the lead driver as long as they are deemed not to have slowed down excessively, because it's then the chase that has to give them the room. Once you've finished your run, head back round to the start line. Even if you're not doing another run, even if that's the end of the battle so that we can announce the winner, we are expecting some 1 more times on this track for a number of reasons. We're expecting a few people to double zero out of this, especially going into 2. So you guys have been warned. We've given you as much notification as possible that 2 is a crucial point because that leads to the flow all the way through that section. If you are checking up or you're flying off into the sand or you're getting punted off into the sand there, we will be marking against that heavily. Now, I think that just about covers everything there. Does anyone have any questions?
I got one question.
Go for it, Josh.
I'm assuming we're going to be I'm assuming we're going to be changing tyres during OMTs, yes? Or we're just going to go straight up back to the start
Yeah,
line?
OMTs you get.
OMT, you get fresh tyres, yeah.
We're not
Sweet.
completely evil.
We're just slightly
Or
evil. There's no way that the Mustang would do 4 runs without absolutely cooking its tyres.
Actually, screw it. Yeah. No, yeah. On OMTs, you just go straight again. You don't go back to pit.
I'll say I was only getting 3 runs in practice and the Mustang.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
two runs per set of
no,
tyres.
it's fine. No.
No. That's the ruling. Paul Howell, thanks for the follow. Phantom Itsobi, thank you for the follow. Right, if you guys have no questions, then this is how things shape up right now. We have a preliminary bracket because we had more than 32 drivers. We used random.org to decide the order. We have Sean Hogan versus Lewis Winstanley fighting for the last place in the top 32. They are the only people that have not yet got a position in the bracket. The rest of the bracket looks like this. It is Harry Fox versus Adam Thornecroft. That's our first battle. Caleb Dopheny versus Ian Koenig, Warren Greener versus Charlie Evans, Paddy Walls versus Lucas Potinskas, Steve Smith versus Callum Craddy, Ryan Cider versus Alexander Yaygard, Phil Milton versus Abdullah Abu Hussain, Josh Hartshorn versus Cormac Guard. That is our complete left-hand side of the bracket. On the right-hand side of the bracket, we have Jezza Picken versus Olav Var, Serban Matei versus Joventli Maurizia, Alexander Bonifano versus Adam Lake, Paul Howell versus Louis Fesca, Dante Roos versus Oliver Eppinger, Josh Oxley versus Jamie Healy, TJ Roosh versus Shay McCullough, and Zane Fairbrother will take on the winner of that first battle, the one that will be coming up immediately at past. So, the first group is going to just be those two coming onto the server. We're allowed 8 people plus spotters and judges on the server at any one time. Once we call the start, the only people I want to see on the server are myself, the 2 Chris's, Sean Hogan, Lewis Winstanley, Harry Fox, Adam Thornecroft, Caleb Dopheny, Ian Koenig, Warren Greener, Charlie Evans, Paddy Walls and Lucas Potinskas. So, at past, if I have not just said your name in the last 10 seconds, you will be asked to leave the server. You can head over to the practice server. You can carry on there if you wish to. The conditions are the same. Or you can just log off and watch on the stream. You will be called to compete and to join in with the chat via Anders, Mr. Gramberg, who will be doing our running in the background. You must have your names set on the server and in the chat to your actual names, people. We need to be able to see who you are. If we don't know who you are, if you're sat there and we can't read it, that's not our fault. You have been warned. It's in the rules. If we can't see who you are, you automatically forfeit your run. So if you cannot be located, that's your problem, not ours. All right? We are not here to spend the time acting as super sleuths. You need your names. We need to be able to read them. It's very, very simple. So, there are 11 minutes of practice left. You are released drivers. Cormac's just asked a question. Are we allowed on the rumble strip? You're going to have to be more specific, mate. There's quite a few.
As a rule of thumb, though, if it's a rumble strip that is relating to an outer zone or it's going to be rear tyres, sure. If it's an inner, no.
All of them, yeah. So yeah, what Chris just said basically. What we'd like is to, on the front clip, say clip 4, that's got a rumble strip inside it. You should be going around that. A small cut that then means that the guy behind ends up dropping a single wheel over the front there. That's going to be marked down slightly against you as a lead driver because you forced them onto that line. If you're going around the clip cleanly and they're still on that line trying to keep the proximity, well, they're going to have to be absolutely crawling inside you for that not to be counted as a markdown.
Wow, that FPS is horrendous.
It'll
Oh, on
improve
a
as soon
1080
as people
Ti
log
with
off.
a 5600X CPU, it's a solid 60, and I mean completely solid.
I'm on a 1050 and I'm getting 77.
Right, so I'm going to move down into some of the other chat where
So-
we will be
Yeah,
using for the for the judges channel this evening, we'll be using the regulars chat, so I'm going to move down into there now. Anders can move back and forwards between them. You guys can all stay in here and do what you want.
Bye-bye.
The guys on the stream will be visible there, and I will see Chris and Chris down there. Right, so you guys on the stream, we're just sorting out the last bit of stuff in the background. There we go, that should be everyone sorted. So, you guys in the chat, let's give you something to actually watch. Oh my word, everything is busted. Come on. There we go. So we can have a look at Ryan in practice there. So this is what we're looking at this week, guys. This is how it's looking. What do you think in the chat? Who are you thinking is going to be actually... Sorry for that strobe effect that just happened there. That was me trying to work out what I'd done with my cameras. It was my fault. It was all me. So, let's see. Time to go to the beach, everyone. Yes, it is. That beach on the outside edge of turn 1. I'm expecting to see an awful lot of our guys in it. I'm expecting to see someone delivering pina coladas. I'm going to get a nice waiter. I might set up a deck chair there and watch them go by and then join me on the beach. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. That first corner is really, really, really challenging. We know that that's one of the areas that people have been having problems with. As we watch Ryan go through that section there, that is not bad at all. He's getting that absolutely lined up, looking nice. Oh, and here, let's have a look at Callum Craddy. He's doing the first competition in his new car. It's his first time in the Mustang. Am I going to be allowed to switch to him? Come on, cameras. Yes, there we go. So here's Callum Craddy firing into that inside section. This is the practice we were expecting to see. Some of these guys absolutely nailing it straight off the bat. It's a track many of them are familiar with. It's a track many of them have driven before. The section that we're running is not one that many of them have driven before. We will see what
Okay, there
is
we go.
happening.
Fixed by just, you know, creating a new channel.
What was the problem?
None of us could connect to that other Discord channel. It was just giving us no route.
Ah, right, it wasn't just me then.
Interesting.
So I've now created a new channel that is also privated to...
Well done, Christopher.
Yeah, the special
As
people.
usual, your excellence is showing. So, for those of you who don't know the people that are in the chat with me at the moment, we have a variety of Chris's. We have Chris Ennis, who is the owner, manager, and sole proprietor of Eclipse Motorsport. He very generously let me drive the V8 powered S14 that some of you guys will have seen in our YouTube video recently. Last year at the very last drift event of 2020 that was allowed to go ahead in the UK. That car had absolutely no business whatsoever being as fast as it was, because it still had the open diff, and thankfully Christopher has fixed this, but with the open diff it was still able to bully Carl Farrar's little JZX 100 with its 490 wheel horsepower, so that was very entertaining. Chris Wiltowski is the manager, owner, main person behind the Virtual Drift Championship, a very experienced
One of the main
judge.
people.
It's your brainchild, let's be honest. Yes, there are plenty of
Yes,
other people
but equally
involved.
at this point, you know, we
Dion
cannot...
and Craig, and it wouldn't work without everyone else there at
It
all.
would not work without Craig, for sure.
Absolutely.
Craig has done great work over the past couple of years now with the stream and has brought on the brand massively because of that. So
Absolutely.
I will
So
not,
big
I will
shout
not
out
allow
to
you
Craig.
to,
He's an
you know.
absolute legend as well. But let's face it, VDC is your and Dion's brainchild, and you have managed to force it to the level that it is now at, assisted by these guys. It's kind of your physics in the background, your driving force behind it, your overall arching judging view of how things should be, led by your...
Don't be a bitch.
What? How am I being a bitch?
That's my overall judging view.
Oh, right, sorry. thought that was aimed at me. I was trying to work out.
No,
I'm
no,
giving
no,
you compliments. How is this in the least bit bitchy?
That's just.
Chris Viltovsky is very much a product of the school of Kieran Hines, which is this track looks interesting. Let's put a wall somewhere and make it more challenging, which is the exact philosophy that we've done for this track as well. So
it's entirely possible that for those who are awaiting the Drift Master stream tomorrow, that I might have done that layout and I might have put 3 walls on that.
Yes, we're looking forward to seeing that. It's very exciting. And the
Germany to the Sachen ring.
The other person here is Anders Unger. He is one of the members of staff. He's been a great supporter of Tsujigiri over the course of the last few years. He's been a huge help to us. He's a really nice guy, and he has come on board to help us with all of the background stuff, because what he knows about streaming is all the stuff that I have absolutely know about, all of his organisational stuff in the background, and he's helping us streamline the Discord and streamline the whole process. So there'll be a new sign-up process soon. So that's who's in the chat with me right now. Chris and Anders. Anders won't be saying much unless he sees something really reprehensible, because he does like to mock people who do things that are terrible, which is totally fair, and many of these people do terrible things all of the time, so he gets to mock them quite heavily. The other two, you'll be hearing from them a lot, because we will be making all of our judges' discussions public as part of this chat, so that you guys have a better idea of what's going on, so that the guys who are competing can listen to the judges' chat. They will hear us very blatantly say, oh, that was balls, or oh, that was acceptable, and that's about
You mean I've got to do a PG judging?
No, it's fine. I've already accepted that this, as usual, this channel will get demonetized very, very quickly.
I mean, it's not even that. It's just like you're making what the judges are saying public. Dear God, like, you can't do that. Have you heard the things that judges talk about?
Yes. Yes, and for
I know.
once...
Concerns me.
It concerns you. All right, if you want, I will go into another channel, but we'll need someone else to do the countdown for the starts.
Well, you're gonna have to go into another channel to do that anyway.
Oh, that's
the
true.
drivers
I
can't hear you.
there, but I will have to be available for the huging, and the problem is that as soon as I'm in.
The easiest thing to do if you want to be able to still talk to drivers and move them about that would be to use secondary app, either TeamSpeak or Skype.
That's true. That is true. If you get a buy run, do you need to drive 1 or 2 laps? If you get a buy run for any reason, you only need to drive 1 lap, buddy. We're not that harsh.
You need only leave the line.
Yeah, you need only leave the line. Once you cross the line, that counts. So we have had people who've done their buy run and then immediately stuffed it into the gravel in the past, and that's absolutely fine. We'll allow that. Right. 2 more minutes. That's what we've got. 2 more minutes. Let's watch this. We're still seeing Callum Craddy do a run. Let's have a look at someone else. He's been getting that dialed in pretty well. Just in time for us to switch across to watching someone else punt an S14. That's always good. We've got 2 of the RX-8s competing tonight. We've got Warren Greener, who has been using that car for a long time now. It's his favourite car to compete in. And we've also got a new guy in the shape of Dante. That's Dante Rouse. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that without offending everyone, but we'll go with Rouse, probably right. He's been looking really strong in practice yesterday. He's been driving that car quite well, so well done, Dante. We look forward to seeing how you do with everything there. Robert Pickles has shared the stream. Thank you, Rob. So, you guys have been watching practice. What do you think? Chris, Anders?
I've literally only just got it to work.
Excellent.
I've just mostly been watching Caleb just out of interest, just because he's currently driving a Mustang, and he formerly drove a Mustang in VDC and wants to change out of it, and changed out of it to Brian's car, and I'm going to mock him because he's looking rather good in a Mustang. So, you know, therefore he deserves mocking.
He deserves mocking for trying to change what he's doing. Yeah.
No, because what he did is he changed into Brian's Aston on the excuse that the Aston was already better set up than his Mustang. He's currently making it look rather like the Mustang has got nothing wrong with it. No,
it has absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm going to take this last 40 seconds to shove this banana in my face. I haven't had breakfast yet. I don't like to eat on the stream.
He says whilst eating on the stream.
Is that eating, or can I say
devouring?
No, I,
I mean, what I would say is he's deep throating.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but I didn't know if I could.
Oh no, it's
say
fine.
that.
That's not demonetizable.
I didn't deep
Two
throat the
words.
banana, I just shoved it in my face.
The
You guys are
difference
disgusting. You
there-
sicken me. Right, that is time. Let's drop down into the chat and get these guys to sort themselves out.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
I did a bit of a
that
late
is
transition
time.
before
You
the
are
power hour into
live
class
on
6.
the stream.
Yeah,
You are
that's
live
what-
on the
that's
stream.
what
That
really
is the
screwed me,
end
that
of
did.
practice. Gentlemen, that is the end of practice. Please return to the pits so that we can get this show started. The guys who should be on the server are as follows. We should have Sean Hogan, Lewis Winstanley, Harry Fox, Adam Thornecroft, Caleb Dopheny, Ian Koenig, Warren Greener, Charlie Evans, Paddy Walls, Lucas Potinskas. If that is not your name on your birth certificate, as I have just read out, kindly leave the server, please. That is it. You may head to practice, but those are the guys that we want. We also want those 10 of you that I have just called to move into the... let's go with the Assetto Corsa channel, please. So move yourselves up into that. That is the one that is going to be used for the competition, for the chat whilst you are on the server. So those guys should move themselves up. That is who we will be using for this. Go on. Hello, Ryan. Yes.
As per usual, am I right? Just sat there. Or do you
Yes,
want me to leave
you
for
can have your unique exception.
my disabled status. Okay, no worries. Thank you very much.
We'll make you a blue badge holder. How's that?
That sounds fantastic. I need
Somzu,
one
thank you
the
for the
moment,
follow.
mate, to be honest.
Yeah, I bet you do. So for everyone at home watching and wondering why we're doing that for Ryan, Ryan has VR and his room is set up incredibly badly, so he can't actually move around very easily. And he's also got the coronavirus jab over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, and has basically been laid up with the serious case of the man flu. So that's that.
That was my bad.
Antzu, thank you for the follow. Welcome along.
I had it.
Right.
It sucks.
You guys can stay here. You can go onto the practice server, do as you want. We're going to get this show started.
Having the exact same problem. My content manager won't load anything.
Hello, gentlemen.
Wait, is everyone having the content manager problem?
I can. The servers won't load for me.
No,
Yeah.
same here. But I got the link.
Okay, that's odd.
Right.
Thank you.
Can we please have to the line, to lead in first, Sean Hogan leading in Lewis Winstanley. That is our first battle.
Okay, well,
If you guys are in the server now, you are to stay in the pits. You are not to rev engines. You are to chill out.
It's on track at the moment.
Yep. We should just have those two on track. That is it. And I will put on
We don't.
stereo carousel.
Oh, he's gone back to track now. Back to.
So,
I'm going to restart my Wi-Fi.
Who's in the red?
Sean Hogan to lead in Lewis Winstanley.
Wait.
Who is in the
What's
red?
this guy doing?
Yeah, who's in the red?
DV Louise Fesca off.
Louis
Fesca. Where is he? Anders, can you just search for Louis Fesca and just move him around as required, please? I want to get these guys started so we can keep going.
Yeah, I'll try and find him.
Thank you. Right, this is it. Let us get things underway. Gentlemen, first battle of the night for a place in the top 32. In 3, 2, 1, go. And they are cleanly off the line. This is our first battle of the night. We got Hogan leading in. Lewis Winstanley, look at that S15 firing in there, running out to clip 2 nicely. Not much angle there from Lewis there, but he's trying to bring that back up onto angle as he comes firing around this corner, up and into the infield section. Good line for Paul on that transition across out to the outer zone, nicely along the wall there as Lewis tries to reel him back in through this section. Big transition from Lewis, but look at that, very straight angle on the D-cell, trying to maintain that proximity, not using the angle in that car at all as he comes firing round and out into this slowdown for clip 7 and 8 and across the line. That's our first battle, first run. Here we go. in 3, 2, 1, go. Another clean pull. They're off the line for the second half of this battle as they come firing in. Look at Lewis Winstanley, absolutely blown the doors off Paul there as they come down into this infield section, round into this outside line. Now I can see why Lewis was struggling to stay behind Paul. Look at that in the transition, round and across, out to the outside line now as Lewis pins it to the wall. Look at the gap that's opened up there. That is a monumental gap as Lewis has lost it. Has he managed to hold it? He's dropped that tyre onto the grass and he's still managed to gather it back up. That is extraordinary. Really good control from Lewis, but there's checks up and has a correction and then back round and across the line. Let's go talk to our judges. Hello, gentlemen. You are on stream.
Hello.
Do we have a verdict?
I'm not happy about it, but as Lewis didn't completely incomplete his lead run, Sean just got completely left sleeping on the line and never made the gap up. Yeah, okay, Lewis had some big wobbles, but he didn't do anything to incomplete entirely, and Sean never made that gap up. On the reverse of that, Sean had better lead because he didn't have his glaring errors on angle, but Lewis was actually able to chase him.
So we're going with Lewis?
Personally, yes.
Chris? Ennis?
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
Also, one suggests that we switch over to TeamSpeak, and then you set your Discord on a push to talk.
I will do that for next week. I'm just going to have to move around this week because I've already started and this is where I'm at. So we're saying Lewis Winstanley. I know, Chris. I know. I understand your misery. Lewis Winstanley.
That's why he's not doing it this week. Yes.
Gentlemen, we have a verdict. We've discussed as the judges, and the verdict was a unanimous. We know who we have to give it to, but we don't like it because that lead run was so scrappy. However, purely based on the size of the gap that was opened up in the second run, the winner is Lewis Winstanley.
Do you sorry for my lead?
So Lewis will take his place in the top 32. That is excellent. Well done, Lewis. And I'm sad to say that Sean Hogan has been knocked out at the first hurdle there. So we will move on. This is what's going to be happening next. If we could have, coming up to the line, Harry Fox and Adam Thornecroft to begin with, please. Once you guys make your way up, I'll drop back in. So, Lewis...
Oh, the bracket.
What?
I will use my phone for that because I don't have enough monitors.
I don't have enough monitors. I'm just not first world hardcore enough. I just don't have the
Well, I've only got
spaces.
2 monitors, so I've only got enough screen space for game and stream.
That is
I don't have
fair.
enough screen space for battles and plat as well.
Let's have a look at this. So just to show you guys on the stream how that's now looking, here we go at the end. That is the bracket. So you can see now Lewis Winstanley takes his place in that bracket, and he will go on to face Zane Fairbrother in the final battle of the top 32. Meanwhile, we're moving straight on. This first 8 driver set: Harry Fox versus Adam Thornecroft, Caleb Dopheny versus Ian Koenig, Warren Greener versus Charlie Evans, and Paddy Walls versus Lucas Potinskas. That is how things are going. I will get through to reading the stuff that's on the stream when we get to the next break, but in the meantime, we're just going to crack straight on. Here it is, our top 32. Harry Fox to lead in. Where is he? There we are. That is Harry Fox on the line.
So I guess Anders is sending?
Adam Thornecroft there. No, I'll drop down and send. Thornecroft there. I will drop down and send him. Here we go. Unless Anders wants to do it, that would be helpful.
It would be massively helpful.
Thank you very much, Anders.
Okay, I'll just drop in now.
Thank you.
Danke.
I definitely need to get that start light system sorted.
You mean you need to remember to beg me for it?
That's the one. I can see I see a case of wine in your immediate future. As here we go, these guys are off the line. This is Adam Thornecroft's first competition. He only started drifting with us a few weeks ago. He's been learning. Oh dear! Oh, it's bad! Oh, everything's bad! Oh,
there was the murder.
There's
And
been
that's
a
an incomplete for the chase. 10-0.
Oh wow! Oh, I could feel the expense of that crash from here. That was awful. Oh,
Well, you're not even that far from it because that crash happened in Japan and you are only in New Zealand.
I know.
Caused another earthquake.
Yeah, we've got a tsunami coming soon. Tsunami coming soon from that crash. Right. Send them back round. I think we're all fairly unanimous on which way that one went. That is absolutely horrific.
Yeah, that's
right.
A chasing error.
Let's see. Can Mr. Fox not get lured into this by Adam, who is obviously going to have nerves on his first competition? Here they go. They're off the line now. And Adam is through that chicane. Harry Fox in the chase position. That Mustang is incredibly fast, even in that Hush livery that is retina-searing red.
That is a dangerous lead line.
That is a really dangerous lead line as they come firing through, but Adam's managed to gather it back up. Harry's on this transition. He's trying to push there. He's not wanting to get left behind. He's trying to make sure that he has got that proximity stamped all over it.
Sit back. Just
he
don't
doesn't
get
need to be pushing this
incomplete.
hard in case
Just
Adam makes a
sit back.
mistake. Oh, and that's contact.
No, it's not.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
It was
on my
just-
screen it looked like contact. Okay.
No contact at all. It was just lead car over rotating.
Oh. I'm going to watch that
Just
back on my
a lot
replay
of
here.
excitement
Here it is.
for early in the morning, Ben.
It's too much excitement. I haven't had coffee. Oh, do you know what? I think there was contact. Looking on the YouTube, just going back to the replay, I think there was contact.
But that's your ping problem. That's not actually there was contact.
Okay. All right. So in that case, a fairly clear-cut result. I will go and issue the
I
verdict.
forgot to tell you to send me all the liveries, Ben.
Ah. We'll do that for next time.
I don't know.
Gentlemen, we have reached a verdict. We were just reviewing that video. I thought that there was contact going into the final section, but the rest of the judges assure me that that was a ping-related issue at my end, which means we are able to issue a verdict, and advancing on to the top 16 is Harry Fox. Adam, great effort for your first event. Sadly, you were outmaneuvered by Mr. Fox there. You just lost that mainly in that chase position with a little bit too much aggression. But well done. Great effort for your first event.
Thanks for having me. Cheers. Good luck, guys. Thank you very much.
So, who will Harry Fox face? Caleb Dopheny and Ian Koenig to the line next, please, who leave you in Anders' capable hands to rustle you and get you all sorted. But please head down to that line, ready to go.
Can I ask who's counting down so I can turn them up, please?
It'll be Granberg.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, Anders.
I just gotta find the correct people in game so I can see whenever they're.
So, Caleb Dopheny.
Ag issues that aren't actually present. It actually is useful because it gives you a good view of things.
Who have we got? Sorry, I couldn't join your voice today from Reefsy. Reefsy's been in school, that's a problem. Sorry, I just realised I've jumped in on you guys still talking, that's my bad. Reefsy's been in school, that's not a problem. He'll be joining again next week. I hope that's going to be something that we shall see again for him next week. We have guys already calling Harry the Dreamboat, so he is their preferred driver at the moment. So Ian Koenig now to chase in Caleb Dopheny. Here we go. Second battle of the top 32. We are ready.
We are ready to do the thing that is copywritten, allegedly.
Yes. Let's depart them.
Let's email them.
Yep, and they are off the line. Ian Koenig's been looking good in that car all week. Oh, that's my fault. I've given him the wrong livery. He's going to be livid about that. Never mind. Here we are. We're absolutely firing into this section. And Ian Koenig in the chase position has stalled it up coming into that infield. Here's now the transition across. Is he going to be able to gather that back up? He's getting left behind now by that big Mustang as it powers through the infield section. Now across into the transition. This is the slowdown. This is a chance for him to catch up. That 32. Sorry, 32. That S14 has been looking good in the chase position when he's been practicing, but it looks like he's just been outmaneuvered in that first section of the track and across the line.
9-1 lead. The only reason I'm not giving Ian an incomplete is because I didn't actually see whether...
You got cut off whether...
Crap.
Hello? Is it just me not hearing Chris? Oh, never mind. Yeah. We are off. It doesn't matter. Oh. Here is Caleb Dopheny chasing in Ian Koenig. Ian's going to be mad. He's going to be hopping mad. He does not take mistakes like that well when he's making those mistakes when he's in the driving seat. So he's firing it round there now nicely through all of turn 1 here into the infield section. He's going to try and open out the gap. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Let's switch across, make sure that we see Ian finish off this run. He's going to have to bring it all the way round. Wraps it round onto that infield section. This is the last transition. He's got to keep it tidy all the way across here. We've always said in the rules that you've got to finish the run if the guy behind you makes a mistake and across the line. Chris Ennis, your thoughts, please.
Yeah. He drove into a wall. I mean, were you not watching?
Oh, Paulie Peterson, Janus Gifty, thank you very much for the follows. Yeah, I mean, I was watching.
Ian's transition is very, very... So he goes to transition late, realises he's not going to make it, stops the transition, and then transitions.
I'm going to go back and watch that. I'm going to watch that again on the...
As he comes off of that outside clip, he comes in, he starts to rotate, realises, oh god, I'm going to go off track, stops rotating, and then finishes the rotation. And Caleb at that point is just following him. And then Caleb also then realises, oh god, he's gone really deep, but he then bangs a tyre off track and then ends up understeering because of going off track. So the question is, what Ian had followable?
Ian had just gone to the clipping point.
Yeah, but it's a weird transition that I don't. That's the thing I don't like about it, because he goes to transition, and instead of being a nice snap transition, it's starts a snap transition, backs off throttle for a second, then drops back on throttle again to then finish the transition once he's made it past the, oh god, I'm going to go well off track, and he still hooks a tyre completely over the inside rumble.
Yeah, but if you look, Caleb transitions after that and then just straightens up.
Yeah, I think Caleb could have made that transition. The way the Mustang rotated, he could have comfortably held that. I don't think that there was a problem there with the way that Ian transitioned. It was slightly late. I don't think he went to rotate and then stopped. It looks to me like he got over the bump, and the bump was what caught out the settle. It wasn't perfectly timed, but I certainly wouldn't classify that as an unchaseable transition, personally.
I don't think it's unchaseable. It just looks really, really weird.
Is it weird enough to result in straightening and going spleering off into the wall, though? That's the question.
No, if anything, he just spun.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
It is bizarre. The bizarre is the word for it. That's the problem I'm having, is it doesn't really quite make sense.
No.
No.
Because the thing is, that's just odd. That's just properly odd. The only thing I could say is... It's either it goes to Ian because Caleb makes a clear incomplete, or it's we go one more time because Ian's chase was about as close as you could get to inactive without being actually inactive. That's the only thing.
I would agree, except I agreed initially with that 9-1 in the first instance.
Yeah,
I think that was the
I
correct
wouldn't
call.
say it was a complete inaccurate.
For me, Ian got that.
If he'd
by virtue of not zeroing himself out.
Purely by virtue of not zeroing
and then
himself.
tried to continue, we'd have been one more time.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. If Caleb had managed to reinitiate there, where he hooked it, that's where I would have gone with as well. We happy? I mean, none of us are happy with that run. No one. The guys watching on the stream are definitely not going to be happy with that run, but we're happy with the verdict.
It's just the best of a bad situation.
Gentlemen, I am here to render a verdict. We have reviewed repeatedly. We've gone back over the replay of that transition to determine fault. We were not happy with Ian's transition, but we did not deem it to be untraceable and therefore certainly not worthy of causing a crash of that magnitude. We almost awarded a one more time because of the error from Ian in the first run, but our initial score stands as a 9-1 advantage to Caleb from the first run, overturned by that 10-0 loss in the second run, which means Ian Koenig defaults through into the top 16. It was not how we wanted that battle to go. We thought both of you were going to be really tight on it, but that is the result. Ian Koenig advances to the top 16. Well done,
Congrats,
Ian.
man.
Warren Greener, Charlie Evans to the line. You are now under Anders' control. He will send you when you are ready. Warren Greener, Charlie Evans. Oh my god, the stream is getting absolutely spammed with love for Harry. That is horrific. I need to get a bot in just to sort that. Whitley's raiding with a party of 33. Well, that's why. Hello, Whitley. Hello, party of 33. Welcome along. We know you are here to support your boy, Harry Fox. I don't know why Whitley's not competing this week, but whatever the reason, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please don't overspam the chat, guys. There's way too much Harry love there.
Ben, did you change the rules to the first 0 is the 0?
I didn't put it in writing for this week. It's on my list of things to do for next week. So lead run must finish the run is still the rule at the moment.
Well, it was chase run, wasn't it? If the lead car span, the chase car must finish.
Unless it's unchaseable. Oh god, they've already gone.
Hang on. We gone.
Oh my word, I haven't even found them. There we go. There's Charlie Evans in the chase position, coming round onto that first corner. We shouldn't be talking about rules. I shouldn't be monitoring the chat. We should be looking at drifting. Here we go. That's a good good transition there from the lead car from the RX-8. Bit of a mistake from Charlie there. He didn't need to hang up in that location as he comes firing through into the slowdown. Bit of a wobble on the D-cell there in that section as we come through into the transition. This is the final corner of the track. Firing across, round in, running wide there, and Charlie managing to hook round. It's not smooth, but they are across the line. Warren Greener.
S13's got a lot of lag.
Yeah, he's lagging horrifically.
Here we go. Warren Greener in the chase position. Charlie Evans in the lead. These guys have driven together a lot before. We're going to see how they head off, and they are off firing through there. Charlie Evans has not got the ping rate down the control here as he comes firing in. Warren Greener in that RX-8 having to back right off, but still pinning it to his door as he goes through that section. Warren very, very tight, trying to maintain that proximity. Charlie's lagging there, but coming firing round through now into 2. This transition's been catching people out, but Warren backs off, gives him the room, and then gets back up onto that door through clip 5. Now into the transition down, coming down into the slowdown for 6. This is important here. Is Warren going to be able to maintain that proximity? Yes, he is. Look at that control from Warren Greener. He is looking really strong in that RX-8, which is a great choice of car for this track. It's got huge amounts of side bite, so those slowdowns work brilliantly. There he is across the line. Gentlemen.
Yeah, Warren for me.
Yeah, Warren for me as well.
Didn't like his lead at all. Was low angle, weird, but it was chaseable.
It was a low angle chase, but he had the proximity all the way
his lead
around.
I'm talking about there.
I
don't mind people being lower angle in the chase, but Warren was low angle in his lead in a lot of places, but it kind of didn't matter because Charlie's ping kind of gave that one away for him.
Yeah. Leo PTK, QWERTY227PL, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. Yeah, for me, that one, I agree with Chris. I think it was shallow in the lead. Clappers, thank you for the follow. Welcome along. But I think that it was a chaseable lead, and that was definitely Warren overall from that one. I shall go and render verdict. Garox212, thank you for the follow. Welcome along. Gentlemen, we have a verdict. Having looked at both runs, we can see errors from both drivers. We did not like Warren's shallow lead run. However, there was no denying that in the chase position, he was able to stamp authority all over that run, as well as some issues from Charlie when he was in the lead, meaning that we give the win to Warren Greener. The RX-8 V8 of Warren Greener advances through to the top 16. Will he face Paddy Walls, or will he face Lucas Potinskas? Gentlemen, to the line, please. Paddy Walls to lead first, Lucas Potinskas to chase.
Told you, yeah, I lost.
Right.
Good bastard there.
Lucas and Paddy, you are now under Anders' control. See you at the end of the battle. Gentlemen, these guys are up now. It is Paddy Walls to lead in Lucas Potinskas. Lucas Potinskas to chase first in that Mustang. Let's see what happens here. So, guys, I missed so far. Garrick's 2-2, Moram 1, and Hayflaw. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along as Lucas Potinskas comes firing off the line in that Mustang in the chase position, firing in through clip 1. Little bit of a gap opening up. Paddy Walls, the young Irishman, looking really strong out in that 13.5 in the lead position as Lucas is dropping tyres over the inside edge, coming up into the infield now. This transition's proved crucial all night. Late transition from Paddy, but he does get it hooked around, manages to dial it out, comes away from 5 at the wall a little bit early. There's Lucas starting to use that big Mustang to stamp his authority back over the battle as Paddy only gets into the B line there as they come through into the transition down into 8. Final corner of the track, and Paddy misses it completely. Misses clip 8 completely. A scrappy lead. So, very much the pendulum swinging back from one to the other there. Thank you very much. Here we go. Paddy Walls off the line in the chase position is the young Irishman, the 12-year-old from Ireland, going to be able to keep with Lucas Potinskas in that big Mustang. It's a bit of a chase error there from Paddy as he comes firing in now, slowing down hard, losing angle as they come out into 2 and 3. This transition's crucial again as they come firing across. Look at that gap start to open up. Lucas Potinskas getting into the rhythm, starting to break away from the young Irishman. Down into the slowdown now. Is Paddy going to be able to get back in the battle? Maybe he is, coming surging up onto the door. Lucas has just got to hit that inside clip now. Must make it into 8 to get that win and across the line, gentlemen.
Lovely lead line from Lucas.
Much better lead line in the second run and many more mistakes in the chase, despite it being a better run to chase. For me, off that first run, I was sort of leaning very slight advantage to chase. Then it went to a heavier advantage to chase because of the last corner from the lead car. Then on the reverse of this, that lead line, as I said, was far, far better from Mr. Potinskas. Thus, he takes the win.
I don't have anything to add to that. Chris Ennis, anything you'd like to say on that as well?
No, perfectly summed up.
Well, I shall go and render our verdict.
Basically, the Irishman.
Gentlemen, we have a verdict. Based on what we saw across those 2 runs, we confirm that Lucas Potinskas gets the win. Great driving, Paddy, in your lead. Sadly, Lucas was able to stamp his authority over that when he was in the lead, and one error in the final corner for your lead run, Paddy, was enough to swing it mostly towards Lucas Potinskas. But it's great driving for your late entry. Thank you very much for coming along. That is another good set of battles from you, and we can see you definitely winning events later on, maybe even this year. So do keep coming. We think it's going to do you world of good. So,
GG, Paddy.
I will drop out of that chat so that I can show you guys on the Twitch how that bracket has shaped up. Now we have the first 4 people in our top 16, whilst the remaining 8 on this side of the bracket get called up to compete. So that's how it's shaped up. We have Harry Fox versus Ian Koenig, so that's another Mustang versus S14 battle, and then Warren Greener in the V8 powered RX-8 versus another V8 powered car in yet another Mustang. This is all shaping up to go the way of the Mustang on this side of the battle tree. Could be very, very interesting. Next up, we have Steve Smith versus Callum Craddy, Ryan Cider versus Alexander Yaygard, Phil Milton versus Abdullah Abu Hussain, and Josh Hartshorn versus Cormac Guard. That's what's coming up in this next half of our battle set here. Let's get things straight away back underway.
You go all robot and then disappear.
Hello, hello.
Oh.
Right.
Hello, hello. Mr. Steve Smith and Callum Craddy.
That is correct. So, Callum Craddy has just dropped
it was.
off. So that triggers our 5-minute rule. That is how it starts. I will start the timer now.
Yeah, so it's just Discord. It's got an automatic gain sensitivity thing that's that changes the noise gate a lot. The noise gate a lot and is terrible.
Ah.
So I've just set it on manual at minus 58 decibels. So.
Decibels. Very nice, very nice. I've been brought coffee, so I will finally be almost human very soon. We have 4 minutes and 45 seconds left on Callum Craddy's 5-minute rule. He only gets one. He has triggered it by not being ready at the line when called. So this is it used up now, regardless. Even if he gets there and he's still got 4 minutes 30 left, he will not get another one. Let's see how that shapes up. It might end up being important, and unfortunately the rules are the rules. We have to go with them. Let's see what they're saying in the chat while we're waiting for this to happen. So we got a huge amount of support for the gentleman from Poland here. We got some fans for Harry still. No pressure for Harry. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me when I lean forward. It's because my screen is all the way over there and it is very tiny because normally I'm driving in VR now. Some Polish that I'm afraid, sadly, chaps, I can't read. Please, I hope that you are not slagging me off too badly. Cammy, I believe in you. We believe in you from Garox212. They're here for you, Cammy. That's it. They're here to support you. Would love to learn how to compete. I'll join the Discord. Yes, definitely. Come and join in. Make sure you're ready to compete. We will tell it to you straight. Come on, Craddy. You must be at the line. You have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. I'm going to drop in and just.
He was at the line.
He was at the line, but he's gone again. He probably forgot his setup, so he's coming in closer now. This is it. I'm in the fourth group, nervous as foo. Many O's and a K. Yep. Scorp 2241, you got this, Scorp. Well, likewise, good luck to everyone there. Thank you very much. You guys looking really strong today. Don't even want to try and compete against Kamikaze. Believe me, the boy can win even without a car. He's just got a tricycle and he'll still beat you. That's what we want to see. Josh, Scorp.
There's a lot of talk in this Kamikaze did up.
Yeah, he's good though. He's been good. I drove with him a bit in practice over the last few days and he has been good. So, here we have yet another V8 battle. 16 cylinders, 1900 horsepower on the line right now between the Nightmare Before Driftmas Acid Trip V8 powered GT86 against Callum Craddy in the Umbrella Motorsport Mustang. Here we go. This is to get a place in the top 16. Waiting for Anders to send them now on the line. Here we go. Revving up. Craddy has made it to the line. That is it. They are off. He has made it away from the line. Now into that initiation. Steve has been having problems with his lead runs over the last few weeks. Is this going to be the track that he sorted out? Oh no, it's not. He's gone straight off into the peach. Oh my word! As Callum Craddy comes through.
That is entirely your fault.
Yep. Commentator's
curse.
Yes, that is entirely your fault.
That is entirely my fault.
The thing. Oh, he's had problems with his lead runs. He'd entered, looked pretty good, and I was like, oh, he's actually looking all right. And I was thinking it. I was like, I'm not going to say it because it'll curse him. Immediately, what does Ben say? He's been having problems with his lead runs. It's like, you just
straight into the kitchen.
Absolutely, that is the commentator's curse. That is such a shame. Steve was looking so good in the first 45 meters of that slide, and it all went away from him. Oh, Steve, we believe in you. We know you can get that car working. I know you can drive it. I just think your comp nerves get to you in your lead position. Let's see if Steve can overturn this in the chase as he's chasing down Callum Craddy. Here they go. The big Mustang initiates that tiny little 86. Powering up. Is Steve going to be able to stick it to Callum Craddy? This could be crucial. As long as he can maintain pressure, there is still a chance. We could go one more time, but Craddy is a cool customer. The Sandman himself coming flying through here now into this infield section out to clip 5 along the wall. Now the transition's crucial. Steve's got to get this slowdown timed right without ending up too tight on the inside. Oh, Steve's stalled it up. He's not able to bring the pressure to Callum in the last part of the track. Here's the transition now, powering through 8 and across the line as Steve hooks it over the final section.
You just need to go apologise to Steve because literally everything that happened to him there, like you just commentated every single time.
Just telegraphed it. I'm so
All he's got to do
sorry.
is he can't go too tight into this. It's like, why are you doing this?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt there, is there, chaps?
No.
I shall go and render
need
verdict.
to apologise to Steve.
I'm going to go and apologise to Steve. Hello, gentlemen. You are live on the stream. I am here to render verdict.
Steve wins.
First of all, Steve, I have to issue you with an apology because literally at every second where I said Steve's doing something well here, it then immediately went wrong for you. So I'm in future probably just gonna stop talking during your runs because the commentator's curse for you is so very, very real. So I am very, very sorry to say in that circumstance, although most of your chase run was absolutely spectacular, that run goes to Callum Craddy. Craddy gets the win and will advance on to the top 16. Who will he face?
Frustrating part with all that is me and Craddy have just been doing practice after practice with no issues.
No, I know, and I think it's just the comp nerves. I don't think it's the car. I think you've got that car dialed in beautifully now, but I think it's just the comp nerves in the lead position. So that's what we've got to work on. We're going to drill your lead runs this whole week. We're going to drill them until they're perfect. Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I just parked that perfect. Thank you.
Craddy, will you face Ryan Cider or will you face Alexander Yaygard? And as we are ready for these guys when you're ready to send them, Alex Yaygard to chase Ryan in first, Ryan Cider to lead first. And I will drop down to the judges section. I'll leave you with Anders. Alexander Yaygard.
Yeah, they got weird step things.
Alexander Yaygard to chase first. Here he is in the
I
RB28.
have a look in my car and I was like, this has a flat seat round. I was like, no.
The RB28 chasing in the big Mustang here. Ryan's finally got that setup sorted in a way that he likes. Unfortunately, he has been suffering from post-jab COVID minor flu over the last few days. He's been feeling utterly rotten.
Is he still on the low trail?
He is on the low trail, yes, and he is jacking it around all over the place, trying to get that car moving. And there is the surge from Alexander Yaygard in the chase position. It's a lovely chase, but it's only made possible by a very good lead. And what has happened there?
Oh, you've done it again.
Commentator's curse is real. I have the power. Unlimited power! Yes. Well, there we go. Alexander Yaygard has been looking in position for a win at one of our events soon. I think he had one a few weeks ago, didn't he? He's been in that position. There is a good chance here he's up for it, but let's see. Can Ryan now keep it all under control after that mistake from Alexander Yaygard in that chase position? All Ryan needs to do is not mess the chase up. I've done it. I've cursed them both equally now. Ryan has got to keep that proximity. He's got to not overextend himself. He's got to remain cool, calm and collected, which is very difficult for the man from Liverpool. What you haven't said here
is that Ryan is also clearly, he's on for a win at some point.
He's on. Here we go. All right, I'll give it. There you go. Ryan is on for the win if he can maintain this proximity without stuffing it into a wall or hitting the lead car. He almost did it there, but he is round and across the line. That can only go one way. Gentlemen, anything that you saw that I didn't see?
Alex decided to go make love to a tyre wall violently with his rear end.
I saw that. I was here for that. I saw the collision.
I
saw the horror show.
Really, and just try and put it in
just
a
try
more
and really put it
way.
Just to put it in ways that you folks can understand at home. Alex clearly has a fetish for mating with large stacks of tyres. So that's what he did. That's what happened. In the chat, we're seeing English, please chat. As you know,
right, call it. Let's go.
Ben, you criminal. Yeah, sorry. Right, let's go. Let's get these guys in. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. I'm afraid that with the mistake in the first run, we can only have one winner from that battle. In the end, there were no mistakes in the second run, which means we will see an all-Mustang top 16 on this part of the bracket as Callum Craddy takes on Ryan Cider. Who will go into the next part? Will it be Phil Milton in the lead or Abdullah Abu Hussain in the chase position? That is what we want to see next. You gentlemen to the line, and as you have control. So, Phil Milton, Abdullah Abu Hussain. Phil Milton described himself as the softest way to get through to the top 16 the other day. He said it was basically a buy run. But, as we have seen, good drivers can make mistakes. Phil Milton, Abdullah Abu Hussain, Here we go. They're off the line in that chase position. Abdullah Abu Hussain in the RB28 powered 13.5. Phil Milton in his trusty Driftworks Martin Richards replica R32. He is looking better and better as time goes on. Is he going to be able to control it through this section?
Oh, the corrections. Oh, the late transition.
Many corrections. It's a late transition. It's hard to chase, but Abdullah Abu Hussain is managing to keep it there. That looks like a small correction from Phil in that lead position, coming round through 5. Is he going to be able to gather it up now? Big angle. But was it unchaseable? That's going to be down to our judges to decide. Here's the transition. Chris just saying yes. That's it. As I think really unprofessional of me to start laughing there. But
I think what we've got to look at is Phil made it to the end.
That is true. Let's take a positive. Phil Milton is getting better and better as time goes on. He's a guy who's only started driving with us recently. He's been looking stronger as time has gone on. He is definitely improving, and that is the important thing. He's having fun. He's here. He's enjoying himself. He's driving better. That is it. And
anything could happen in the second run.
And anything could happen in the second run. Literally anything could happen. I am going to say, right at the top of this run, Abdullah Abu Hussain is in line for a victory here as Phil Milton straightens in the chase position. Abdullah Abu Hussain has to make it to the end.
Never mind, we're good.
Of the run as Phil straightens again. Abdullah Abu Hussain opening up that gap. Look at that. I've had to switch camera angle on the two of them so that we've got Abdullah Abu Hussain in the camera shot there as Phil straightens for a third time there in the chase position. Abdullah Abu Hussain missing out on 8 completely as Phil has decided enough is enough. He just doesn't want to be hit anymore. He's totally
I don't want to be on this planet anymore.
I don't want to. I like to watch.
And next up, Josh Hartshorn and I'm sorry, Josh Hartshorn. That is an amazing name.
Yeah, because I keep on trying to read it as Hartshorn, which is really awkward.
Hartshorn. Right, anyway, yeah.
Right, I'll go and give them this. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. I'm here to render verdict. Sadly, from an error-strewn run, although Phil is looking stronger and stronger as time goes on, Abdullah Abu Hussain advances through to the top 16. Will he face Josh Hartshorn or Cormac Guard? Gentlemen, to the line, please. Abdullah Abu Hussain, another great run from you. Well done. Congratulations on your victory there, moving through to the top 16. Josh Hartshorn to lead in, Cormac Guard first. Cormac to chase. You are now under Anders' control. Cormac Guard in the chase position.
It'll be a case of I'll have to go to the office and be like, can I borrow a torque set?
Here goes Josh Hartshorn in that E92. He chose that car because he was thinking we were going to have another big track this week, but he's been getting it dialed in slowly as time has gone on. Here he comes, firing down into this outside section, running a little bit wider than some people have been there, but that's still an acceptable line. It's a smooth line that he's driving through. Just makes it to the B line there, but nicely out into 5. Cormac Guard having to work to keep with this E92 on a nice chase position. Oh no, it's excessive angle, bit of a slowdown there as he just knocks it onto the grass for Josh in the lead position. Then the transition here, and look at Cormac determined, punting him across the line, making sure that Josh knows he's there. Well, one thing we know for sure, the red car will win. Is it going to be the Datsun or the Bavarian Wagen?
Could win.
Drifting's the real winner here.
Get out.
I had to say it. I knew it would upset Chris. I had to say it. Josh Hartshorn firing down the line. This is it. Is he going to be able to keep it with Cormac like Cormac kept it with him? Look at that. Oh, it's a big straighten. That is a shame. He was looking really strong in that chase position to begin with there. But I think that's a lag issue there for Josh Hartshorn as he washes out wide. I'm going to switch camera back across to Cormac to make sure he finishes out the run.
That's a lag issue, I'll be honest. I think that was he made a mistake. The engine dropped off boost, and then that's all she wrote.
Yep, that was all she wrote. That looked like it was just a victim of his own aggression there as Cormac brings it across
Cormac,
the line.
You want to make love to your clutch any harder?
He does love it a little bit. I think I should go and render that verdict. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We had that as a very close battle actually after the first run. However, in the second run, we couldn't see any reason for the error from the chase position. We went back and reviewed it and looked to see.
My FPS dropped to 12. It was an error on my side.
Unfortunately, we have to leave that as an equipment error. It was a really close run, but I'm afraid, Josh, that Cormac gets the win and will advance through to the top 16. But Josh, that is definitely your car. You were looking really strong in that. Hopefully for next week you won't have any of those issues, and we will be able to get a clean pull for you there. I am going to stay in here just while I do this announcement.
Ready, Cormac.
So, gentlemen, with that, we have one half of the bracket decided. This is how the top 16 is shaping up. We've got halfway through this bracket, so we've still got everything on the right-hand side to go. People saying the flags are going crazy. Let's try and find a camera angle that's not just looking at a blank wall, but there we go. Here we have the first set of battles for your top 16 coming up. It's Harry Fox versus Ian Koenig, Warren Greener versus Lucas Potinskas, Callum Craddy versus Ryan Cider, and Abdullah Abba Hussain versus Cormac Guard. That is the top 16 on one half of the bracket. What we want now is Jeza Picken versus Olav Var, Serban Matei versus Choventli Maurizia, Alexander Bonifano versus Adam Lake, and Paul Howell versus Louis Fesca. So U8 should be on the server. It is Jeza Picken to lead in Olav Var first. You are now under Anders' control. Olav Var and Jeza Picken to the start line, please. Let's get this going. We continue into the second half of this top 32. There's a lot of people here for Alex and Benefo. Let's see how it goes. There's a lot of people in the chat really bigging him up, and people want to see him compete. So let's see how that goes. I'm handing you over to Anders now as I drop back down to the judges' channel. Good luck, gentlemen.
And the only problem is half the next group of people are listening to the Discord, so I can't call them.
They're not in the Discord?
No, they're deafened.
Oh.
I mean, I won't worry about it. Like, at the end of the day, if they're not on for their runs, then
they zero out. Yeah.
They just get an incomplete, and they can suck a schlong.
Oh, we've got one on the line already. The one I can't.
Olav Var. He's waiting for Jeza Picken. And then we're going to jump on that joke, because there's an obvious really bad joke to be made.
No, not doing it. Not getting sucked in.
Are we on stream?
We're on stream. No, not doing it.
That's a shame.
We're not doing it. We're not getting lured into that rabbit hole.
What rabbit hole?
Very, very bad jokes.
Yeah.
My couple.
So I can't see Jeza Picken anywhere.
Just give the guy a buy run then.
What I'll do, we'll do this. It is a 5-minute rule, starting now.
You're much kinder than me. Yeah, I'm just brutal.
There we go. It's now started. So we have the countdown going. There is 5 minutes on the clock for Jeza Picken. He needs to make his way to the line.
Right,
in the meantime,
so in which case then let's just move on. Otherwise
we are going to move on exactly. Let me move up and tell them that. Right, guys, you are on the stream. Olav Var, you have a small wait now. We have given Jeza Picken his 5-minute rule. It has started now. He has 5 minutes to be on the server and ready to go. We're going to move on to Serban Matei, leading in Choventli Maurizia. That is the one we are going to move on to next. So, Serban Matei and Choventli Maurizia to the line. Maurizia, you're going to be chasing him first. Serban Matei to lead in first. So if you guys can please head down to the line. Thank you. You are now under Anders' control.
Just get her a Jimny then.
I've got 3 Suzuki SJs.
Oh, there you go. Just whenever she goes to the farm, just tell her to take one of the fucking SJs.
Oh, there it is. That's the first swear. We managed to avoid them up until then.
Well, you're the one who keeps joining a Discord channel without telling us.
Yeah, you can see it pings up with my name every time I come in. Fake Hunter Z69, thank you for the follow. Terabit, I think I said you. Thank you very much for the follow.
I don't hear any of those because I've got those sounds muted. Because otherwise, on an event day, all I'd hear all the time is just bing, 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 bing. Good God, that would get distracting.
Oh, they're off.
We can start a rave. Let's see, they are off. So, Giovanni Maurizio in the chase position. Serban Mattei has got that E92 dialed in this week. He's looking really strong. Look at that angle, just using the angle up to bring himself into the inside section there, nicely through 3. Good transition by Serban Mattei as he runs out to the wall. He's going to be able to hold it. Beautiful wall run, coming away a little bit early at the end of 5. But look, is that a small straighten? No, Serban's dropping wheels off the edge there as he comes through. But he's managed to keep the speed and the momentum. Just a bit of an error there that'll be marked down. We know Chris is looking for those errors. He is angry when people make mistakes and across the line. Right.
I'm more just disappointed in Mauricio's chase run, to be honest.
That is fair. Here we go.
Though equally, Serbi, I think, is still possibly riding the high of doing quite so well in Drift Masters at round 2.
You should see the setup that he was using for that run in Drift Masters. I had a look at it with him afterwards, and honestly, it was so terrible. The fact that he managed to get that result is beyond astonishing. So he is now firing in that chase position, pushing hard up onto Mauricio there as they come through into the infield section. Is Serban Mattei going to be able to rein in his own enthusiasm? That's not a euphemism. Don't take it in a sexy way. Not in a sexy way. As he comes firing through 5. Look at that proximity from Serbi. He is determined to get that position as we see that big slowdown from Mauricio in the lead position. But Serbi reining it in nicely through the transition now, coming out wide. Here we are pushing across the line at the end there. Gentlemen, now that was a real battle. It's been a while since we've had one that didn't feature a default. What are your thoughts before you say anything? Halvor798, thank you for the follow, and Sharek9, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. Gentlemen, tell me your thinking.
Both did a good job in the lead. It was one in the chase for me. Serbi was much more aggressive and was able to maintain much better proximity overall. Frankly, the fact that Serbi drops tyres off the back of the second to last D-cell zone, what,
into
6, 5 is that?
6,
yeah. Kind of doesn't. It doesn't matter because Mauricio was so far behind at that point. It actually let him get back into it.
Yeah.
On the reverse of that, Serbi was just banging his door in the whole way. So despite making an error in lead, I would still give it to Serbi just for bringing the aggression through that chase run, and for the rest of the lead run did really well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. For me, before we go to you, Chris Ennis, for me, coming through that section, I think Serbi, when he dropped those tyres, they were only just off the edge, and actually I didn't see it result in a huge correction. So yes, it was an error, but I counted that as only a very minor thing anyway, whereas it looked to me like Mauricio had a bit of a straighten coming onto that through the power alley, and then pretty much reinitiated in behind Serbi into that section to try and regain that proximity. So I agree, that was one in the chase with a really great chase from Serbi. Chris Ennis.
Yeah, all of that. I was a bit disappointed with Serbi's chase after the wall run. He was quite straight, more of a rolling burnout. But yeah, he was on the door for the rest of it.
Personally, I'm okay with that. It was a little low angle there, but I think it was more to set the car up so he could get the early transition through and then push down into the door coming through 6. So I can see why he
We're
did
agreed. I'll move across.
We concur.
Voda Shizavanka, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. That is our 5-minute ruling starting, just coming to the end there, so I will move on to that in a second. First, I need to issue our verdict on this battle. We looked at the runs very carefully. We did see an error from Serban Mattei as he went into clip 6. It was a 2-wheel drop, but because of the way that it meant with the flow of the track and the fact that Mauricio was not quite in the battle at that point, we only deemed it as a minor error. However, in the chase position, overall we deemed Serban Mattei's chase to be a more aggressive, more complete chase. So lead to lead, chase to chase, having looked at them carefully, we give the win to Serban Mattei. Congratulations, you advance through to the top 16. Now, is Jezza Picken here?
Don't seem like it.
Doesn't seem like it. Right, in that case, Olav Var, if you can please head up to the line. All you need to do is cross that line and you will automatically have made it through to the top 16 to take on Serban Mattei. So, Ola Var, if you can head round. All you need to do is that, but if you want to do a full pull, then by all means do. The next battle after that, you guys can start to head down and get ready. Alexander Mbanefo versus Adam Lake. You guys are down to the start line, please. While Olav Var does his run, please go whenever you want, Olav. There is no need for you to have a start gun. Off you go, thank you very much. And by crossing the line there, Olav Var advances through into the top 16, and he will take on Serban Mate. Gentlemen who are moving around now, if you can please head down to the line. Alexander Mbanefo versus Adam Lake. You are now under Anders' control. Adam to chase in first. Thank you. I'm back in the chat.
Sure.
Please don't swear. Alexander Mbanefo versus Adam Lake. Well, I'm glad I missed it. Adam Lake to chase in Alexander Mbanefo. This is a battle that we have come to see. If this is Alexander Mbanefo, he is our equivalent of
Go on, spell it out
Adam
again,
LZ. In that he is here with a lot of support. He has got all of the support here. It was Harry Fox last week was our Adam LZ, but now it's Alexander Mbanefo, and here he comes. He is leading in on this battle. This is the one we've come to see. Alex is here. He's got a lot of support, and he's firing in that 1J S14 nicely out to the outside line there. But look at Adam Lake in that chase position, forcing the issue all the way through this run so far. Nicely on the proximity, but Alexander Mbanefo coming out of 5 a little bit early there, making a mistake in that lead position, allowing Adam up onto it. And there was definitely contact that time. That was not my ping at all.
Never mind. 10-0 chase.
Wow. That was definitely an error in the lead position.
There was a few errors in the lead position.
There were a few errors in the lead position, but the one where it was thrown away at the end, though, was definitely the one that we did not expect. I was chasing Alex yesterday.
Big biggie.
It was the big biggie. I was chasing Alex yesterday, and he was looking really good in that lead position, but that was definitely an error in the lead there. As he comes off the line now, he has got to make sure that Adam Lake feels under pressure all the way through this as we come firing in, and wow, that's big entry, but it's resulted in a correction as well from Alex there as he comes round and through, out onto this outside line, up into the middle of the track. Alex is struggling to get that car back up onto the door of Adam Lake. Adam makes a mistake in the lead position, a slight straighten there as he runs the wall. Is it going to be enough to overturn things? And another error there, big slowdown in that lead position now from Adam Lake. Here's the transition into the final part of the track. Contact again there. There we are, and across the line.
Yeah, nothing that Mr. Lake did was enough to cause an incomplete, in my opinion, so he still takes the win.
Chris
Plus,
Ennis?
Kamikaze, or whatever his name is, decided to just try and delete the front wheel of the car on that last corner, which if that was real life, we would have had a car.
Chris is cut out. Has Chris cut out for me, or has my computer stopped? Chris Ennis, are you still there?
Yes. I thought it was the other Chris that had disappeared.
Yeah,
yes.
It is. He ended up having a problem.
Yes.
But yes, but we agree that is how things have played out.
Yeah, Alex for the win.
Alex or Adam?
He's got that
Mr. Lake.
one. Mr. Lake, yes.
Which car, Chris? Ennis.
Pink one.
Hello, gentlemen. You are live on the stream. We have a verdict. It was not a clean battle. We thought this one was going to be really tight. Both of you have been driving well in practice. However, with the error from the lead position there, we give the win to Adam Lake. Adam advances on to the top 16. Alex, I hope you come back next week. We're really enjoying your driving, and I love chasing you during the practice during the week, so I definitely want to see you coming and doing a lot more, because you didn't drive the car very much whilst you were here last. But yes, if you can come along next week, I think you'll have a great time. But this time, I'm afraid, lost out to Adam Lake.
Thank you for having me.
Mate, it's absolute pleasure on our behalf. You're a great competitor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Paul Howell versus Louis Fesca. Please head down to the line. You are now under Anders' control. Paul Howell, BDC Pro Driver now, versus Louis Fesca. To the line, please. Gentlemen, I am back in your chat. So, there we go. that's our first set of battles there with a little bit of controversy. I know the guys are there really trying to push for Alex in that chat, but
well, it's a shame. He made mistakes and caused an incomplete on his own.
He did indeed,
and
and wow, they've already gone, and I need to get onto Louis Fesca there as they come firing in. That is the R32 in the lead position with sort of moonwalking away from the clip there. That was a true Martin Richards style move as they come away from that line. Now into the transition. It's a late transition from the lead there.
To me, that's an incomplete because that's an unchaseable connection.
That is an unchaseable amount of ping for sure.
It's not the ping, it's his packet loss that's causing him to jump all over the shop. And also on the entry, he was so late. He was so late on the entry.
Oh, as Paul runs wide there round and across the line. Okay, let's see this changed around. See who can do the next run. This is going to be interesting. Paul Howell is a BDC Pro driver. He drives a turbocharged V8 powered Subaru, if I remember correctly.
No.
No, is that not? Oh, no, it's not.
No, that's Mark Brown.
That's Mark Brown.
Paul drives the E46. It's either a 36. Yeah, it's one of them. Yes.
In the same
with
team colours.
in it.
Yeah, that's it. So BMW V8 powered compact. As he comes around, Paul Howell out to the wall. Oh, and Paul has put it in the wall all by himself there. So, as Mr. Fesca comes round, it looks like he is going to get the win unless something dramatic happens here. Paul struggling to stay in that battle as he comes round and across the line. Gentlemen, any reason why I should not be announcing that for the obvious?
Nah.
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, you are on the stream. We are live. Thank you. We have looked at that battle. We saw things on both halves that we weren't entirely happy with. However, in the end, it was clip 5 through the wall run that decided a bit of that for us there. And I'm afraid with that in mind, Louise Fesca gets the win and advances through to the top 16. So, Louise Fesca will now face Adam Lake in the top 16. Paul, for your first run, and considering how little practice you got for your first battle with us here, that was a good effort. We definitely want to see you back next week and hope that you'll come and join us again.
Thank you.
Ben, before you go,
just a quick one. I'm not pro BDC. I'm UK DC.
UK DC. He's changed. He's switched to the competition, and I will see you there for UK DC. Well done.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
No worries, man.
Cheers.
Anders, before I go.
Yeah, the session is about to end in 6 minutes. So either you're going to restart the server or something's going to throw up a bit of a run.
Okay, what's going to happen is then we've got enough time to certainly get Dante and Oliver Eppinger out onto the track, and then we will see what the timer's doing for the run there. If you can just let me know when there's sort of 1 minute left, because it's about 1 minute per run. So when there's 1 minute left, we'll just allow it to reset.
Yeah, but everybody still needs to connect and everything.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. We'll get them in, and then it doesn't matter because then they'll be just control locked for 59 seconds, so that'll be fine.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So, with that in mind, I'm going to move back down to a different chat so that I can just do this announcement. With that in mind, we have the top half of the right-hand bracket here sorted for our top 16, and it looks like this. Moving across now into that top 16, we have Olavar taking on Serban Mate, Adam Lake taking on Louise Fesca. Next up, Dante Roos will take on Oliver Eppinger, who is last week's winner. Josh Oxley will take on Jamie Healy. TJ Roosh will take on Shay McCullough, and Zane Fairbrother will take on Lewis Winstanley. That is how things are looking there. Those are the battles that we're just calling to the line, and Anders, as our start line official, made a very, very good point there, which is that the server is going to reset very, very shortly. So what we're going to have to do is, at the point where that happens, we will hold the battle. There'll be a 1 minute break, during which I might send you guys to some adverts just for a second while we get things back up and running, and then we will carry on. So there's 6 minutes left on the server. We think we can get Dante Roos and Oliver Eppinger done. We may end up having to hold Josh Oxley and Jamie Healy until after the server has reset across at the end of its timer. That's where we're at. Let's see how these guys get going. I'm going to make sure that they are aware of what's happening.
Hello, man.
Hello, gentlemen. You are live on the stream. Just for a second, Dante, you are going to lead in Oliver Eppinger first. We think we can get your battle done. We think we can get your battle done before the server resets, but we think Josh Oxley and Jamie Healy, you will be after the server resets across. So we think we can get Dante and Oliver done now. If you guys can head to the line, Oliver Eppinger to chase in first. You are now under Anders' control.
So it's a big Mac.
Hello, yes. I'm back here.
A Muck Big Mac, as one should clearly say.
Right, Oliver Eppinger to chase in Dante Rouse. This is a battle we think we can get done before the server resets. There's 2 minutes and 57 seconds left before the server resets, so if we can get this battle done and then get them across, we'll do that.
That's brave. Especially given that Rouse
we've only got one driver on the line.
Currently just sat with his thumb up his arse. Oh no, he's moving now. He clearly heard me. Didn't want to be insulted by the angry man.
Dante Rouse on the line. Oliver Eppinger to chase in first. Here we go. This is a interesting battle, one that we've wanted to see for a while now, as Oliver Eppinger, last week's winner, comes chasing in on Dante Rouse. Here's a big initiation from Dante. He's looking really good in that RX-8 over the last few days of practice as they come firing down into this inside line. Slightly tight there from Dante Rouse, but a nice line out to 3. Here's the transition as they come into 4. Good positioning from both drivers. Oliver Eppinger really bringing the fight to Dante Rouse there, who comes away a little bit from the wall at 5, but manages to gather it all back up, but doesn't make it into 6 at all as he comes round into the slowdown section. Oliver Eppinger doing a fantastic job of keeping with Dante into this transition into the final section of the track. Now down through 8, both drivers making it into 8. Look at that proximity from Oliver Eppinger and across the line, and I've forgotten to put it back onto the appropriate stream. I apologise to all of you. The grid was still up. That was my fault. That's entirely on me. But you just managed to.
The best games of the night and nobody saw it.
And no one saw it through the bracket. I am such a penis sometimes. But look at this. Dante Rouse firing in now in behind Oliver Eppinger. Oliver Eppinger on an absolutely storming run. Look at that. Absolutely mammoth line, causing Dante Rouse to have to straighten up a little bit to reinitiate and get that proximity back. But he's there now. He's started to reel him back in. Is Dante going to be able to make this transition, snap across?
Where?
No, he's not. He's getting left behind even more. Oliver Eppinger has got that car absolutely hooked up. Look at it go. There's that transition down into 7 and 8. Here it is, and across the line, and Dante nowhere to be seen.
Oliver takes the wing next.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Go on, we've got 45 seconds left. We might get another one in.
No, I don't think we will.
Send it.
It'd be like that, doesn't it?
Gentlemen, you are on the stream. As you are probably not surprised, we are only able to give that in one direction, having looked at the battle in both ways. And the winner from that battle is Oliver Eppinger. Oliver Eppinger advances on to the next part of the battle tree. He's through to the top 16. Dante, considering you only found out about this competition sort of halfway through yesterday and barely got that much, and you'd never driven the cars before, I thought that was a great lead run, really well controlled. You just had your doors blown off a little bit there in the chase. But get used to the cars, come back next week, it'll be a different track, and we hope to see you again because it's been great driving with you.
Alright, yeah, it was fun.
Thank you for coming. So the next battle is Josh Oxley versus Jamie Healy. Gentlemen, you are not going to get to the start in time for the server reset, but please be ready as soon as the track goes live again. Josh Oxley leading in Jamie Healy. That will be our next battle. Then TJ Roosh versus Shay McCullough and Zane Fairbrother versus Lewis Winstanley. So, gentlemen, Josh Oxley to lead in Jamie Healy. I leave you under Anders' control, and we will come back to you as soon as we are ready to go once the servers reset. Thank you very much. Hello chaps, we are back on Apparently Twitch is currently experiencing issues with going live. I hope it's not dropped. Are people still seeing the stream? That's the important bit. 5 seconds left.
No, I've got the YouTube up.
I've got the YouTube up as well. Wait time.
Why are we still waiting?
Why is it still waiting? Why isn't it switched across? Come on!
It's like the Windows loading bar, 100% or 99%, and then it stops.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to put some nuts in my mouth.
I'll just rejoin the server and see if that helps. Because what with now having a Seto installed to an M2 SSD, it loads really fast.
I hear movement, but I can't move myself to see. I'm going to try the same. I'm going to try a reconnection. See if that helps. Sorry about this, folks. I know that you're...
Oh, but when you rejoin, it just shows the session as in overtime. It doesn't show the session on the 6
Oh,
hours.
great! Complete success. Thank you very much, Assetto Corsa. Once again, all of your excellent features work impeccably.
I mean, I've not had an issue with this, but then again, I just tend to make sure I've restarted the session before we start so that we don't have this problem. But, you know, yeah, sure. Lame Assetto.
Sometimes Chris oozes smug in a way that wants to make me set fire to his house just to kill him like the cockroach he acts like occasionally. But, you know. Oh well, it's in overtime. Let's send it. Let's see what happens. Right.
If it's not going to loop the session, it shouldn't actually matter.
It's just a shame, because if it suddenly decides to do it for no reason midway through. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the server reset. I'm going to do this manually. I apologise to everyone on the Twitch whilst you are being forced to listen to us have this conversation. What I'm going to do is, for the time it's going to take to do it, I'm going to send you all to an advert break, and we will have you back in 60 seconds once we have got that going. So,
yeah,
hello, Anders.
We're just...
You should just be able to restart the session from using the admin password on the server. There we go. Now it's looped. Now the session started again. We're good.
Okay, I've sent everyone to an advert break anyway, so it's restarted regardless. We are there. Everything is working. So, whilst those guys are on the advert break, let's get back to this. It is going to be Josh Oxley to lead in Jamie Healy. That's what we want. Josh Oxley to lead in Jamie Healy. Charlie Evans asking me, when am I going to start driving in these comps? Well, I can't drive and organise them, sadly, so I'm afraid we've ended up with having to do it this way round. Josh Oxley to lead in Jamie Healy. Here we are. This is all looking slightly promising. We appear to at least be in the correct position. These guys are ready to go. Let's get this one underway. They are under starters orders with Anders. Hello?
Yes, right. No, I'm back in. I'm back in.
Good. Welcome back.
Anime.
Complete success. Everything about this is super professional. It's not the least bit wedged together. Whenever they're ready.
I logged out when you said you were restarting.
You were going to restart the Yeah. I think you logging out was what caused it to trigger, to be honest. Never mind. We're here now. Everything is ready to go. As soon as Anders is ready, he will send them.
Send them, Anders.
We hope.
Anders.
Oh, I hear revving. There we are. They are off. This is Jamie Healy to chase in Josh Oxley into that first corner. Jamie Healy's been really dialing in that S15 over the last few weeks. He's been starting to look really good in it, but is he going to be able to overcome the man from Tasmania? Josh Oxley looking strong. This is a battle of two guys with very similar driving styles. I've been driving with both of them over the last few days. Josh Oxley, when he gets it right, is fast, consistent and aggressive. Jamie is the same. Jamie coming up slightly short on 6 in order to maintain that proximity, but he is right there with Josh Oxley as they come through into this final part of the track. Josh on a big angle transition, but still makes it into clip 8. That's going to be down to the judges, including myself, to decide who we appoint blame to for that contact. Let's do that before we move on.
I would honestly just put it down to the connection.
Okay. Chris Ennis, you agree?
I would almost just discount it. Like, it didn't really cause anything.
Yeah, nobody was. Oh, we're off again.
Never mind. Anders has control. So here we go. That's fine as they come firing in.
Contact sport, but contact does happen.
Yes, it does, and that's a beautiful line from Jamie Healy as they come firing down and in. Is Josh Oxley going to be able to maintain the proximity? That's good line from both of them. That transition, they're real snappy from that big Mustang. Jamie right on that wall the whole way round, but Josh Oxley's right with him. Here we are coming firing into this section. Jamie just drops a wheel onto the dirt, slows down a little bit, but Josh Oxley's able to control it. Reel him back in, going into this final section. Jamie's there again. Josh pulling in tight. Jamie just missing out on 8 and across the line.
I mean, he caught the C line at 8.
For me, that is the first proper one more time of the night.
Yeah, that was where I was going with that. Christopher?
I'm just going to watch the replay of the first run. Just because, yeah, so the only difference is
I'm also watching
on the first run there's more separation on the first turn. Lead car misses out on clip 2, but Chase has to literally undercut the line to make up the gap. The lead line overall is marginally cleaner on Jamie's run, but barely, and also Josh doesn't actually make any errors in chase, whereas Jamie does come into that last clip. Yeah, it's lag that causes the hit more than anything, but he is also very low angle there, and there's no need to be, especially against Josh, who's been clearly so aggressive and so fast on angle the whole time. And then again, it's the entry. Josh on the entry is much closer, is able to get the jump better timed, and is then right up in the pocket the whole way through turn 1. Yes, yeah, Jamie's on a slightly cleaner line through turn 1, but I don't know. I'd still give it to Josh. Like the lead to lead, yeah, it's slightly better from Jamie, but not much. It's in that chasing position. Josh is able to be much more aggressive, much more present the entire run, whereas Jamie is there, but thereabouts from about halfway through, but is much stabbier. I'd still give it to Josh.
Chris Ennis, could you be lured in that direction?
I am just watching it again, and I see Chris's points.
I'm inclined to agree. Now I've just watched it back again. I think that lead versus lead and chase versus chase, that's probably not a bad way of breaking it down, to be honest.
It's only just, but yeah, it's probably 6-4 to Josh.
Okay. Well, let's go and tell him. I'm still here. Don't say anything just yet. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have a verdict. Having reviewed some of the issues there with chase versus chase, lead versus lead, we have come to a verdict, and our verdict on that is that
suspense.
Josh Oxley gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Congratulations, Josh. You said yesterday to me that you only wanted to get through. You wanted to win one battle. That is your battle. You have done it tonight. You beat Jamie Healy. For us, that came down, Jamie, just so that you know, that was Josh had a slightly scrappy lead through the first corner, but you weren't anywhere near him through the first corner until he made that mistake getting through 2. So the proximity was overall better from Josh there. Your lead versus lead, your lead was slightly cleaner, except you missed out on clip 8. So that's where we marked down again. But overall, gelling with that car nicely now, looking really good. But in this instance, Josh Oxley just had the measure of you.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Well done,
guys. Next battle, Tej Rouge versus Shay Mccullough. Shay to chase first. You are now under starters' orders. Anders, you have control. Thank you.
But my immersion.
Hello, I'm here now.
I'll have my comfort.
Shay Mccullough to chase in. Tej Rouge. In 3. I'm not counting in, it's not my control. I don't have control anymore. It's so weird not being the starter as well. I'm so used to it for the last, 10, 15 weeks, whatever it's been that I've been doing the starting as well. They can't hear me, they don't care. Here we go, they are off the line, however. And Tej Roush in the lead position. No, don't say that, it's copyrighted. He might chase me down in New Zealand as Tej Roush drops her tyre. That is definitely unchaseable. That was the car jacking up so hard, that front wheel was above the bonnet of Shay McCullough's S13.5. This is an interesting one.
Big Fat Zero!
Goose eggs all round.
BDC throwback.
Yep, Big Fat Zero. Andy Arnott, when he's been doing teaching, whenever anyone spins, gets the entire crowd to get their arms up into the Big Fat Zero and then spin round on the spot like a ballerina. And it never stops being funny, and I don't want to be amused by it, but it's always funny. So, Tej Roush feeling the pressure there. Is he going to be able to put the pressure now back onto Shay McCullough? Tej Roush jumping the line, does not want to get left behind by that 13.5. That is the first person to properly jump the line to try and maintain proximity. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he's not. Look at that gap opening up. And there is Shay McCullough nicely using that tiny little wheel drop there. That's the maximum we wanted to see from that wheel drop as Tej Roush goes shooting off the inside edge. I know he was a late entry here. He was on the reserve list, so he hasn't had a huge amount of practice. He ended up getting this late battle, so he should have had time to get used to the car, but I think he's still struggling as he comes firing through this inside section, trying to bring that fight back to Shay McCullough. But Shay is looking strong on this track with that 13.5, and sadly that will be all she wrote for Tej Roush, unless these guys have seen something that I didn't see.
Yep, easy call, move on.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you. You are live on the stream. Considering, T, that you ended up getting called in late with that as the reserve list with other people pulling out, I think that was an excellent effort, and you clearly were trying to get the practice sorted to get dialed in, but unfortunately from that error in the lead position in run 1, it means Shay McCullough gets the win and advances on to the top 16. Thank you, Tej, for coming. It's been great having you here, and we hope to see you next week for the next competition.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, man. Zane Fairbrother to lead in Lewis Winstanley, our final battle of the top 32. Zane Fairbrother to lead in Lewis Winstanley, Lewis to chase first. You gentlemen are now under starters orders. Thank you very much.
Good luck, Zane.
Good luck to everyone. Here we go. I will move out of this chat.
Good luck, brother.
Battle off battle.
I'm back. Lewis Winstanley with the little SR20 that can up against.
Well, it can because we're on a track that is quite small and slow.
Zane Fairbrother leading in. Lewis Winstanley, Zane Fairbrother in that RB28 powered 13.5, double the power almost of that SR20 car as Lewis tries to keep the proximity there. Big check up from lead. Lewis trying to bring that proximity back now after that mistake. Here's that transition. Is Lewis going to be able to keep that door with the little SR20 that can? Yes, he is so far. This slowdown is going to be crucial. This is a section where people have been making mistakes, but that is a lot of slowdown from Zane Fairbrother in that lead position. The guy from the Big Duck Club team as they come firing now into this last section across the line and back round to the start. Zane Fairbrother will now chase in Lewis Winstanley in the little SR20 that can. They're under starters orders. Here they go. Zane Fairbrother chasing in. Lewis Winstanley. We're just going to get it straight underway again. Here is Zane chasing in there. Lewis with that big initiation. Perfectly timed. A little bit of a check-up as he comes into the slowdown there. Allows Zane back into the battle. Lewis running that slightly shallower angle through 3, but it's a good time transition out onto the wall. Is he going to be able to hold it? Yes, look, running the wall at 5 all the way to the end. Here's the transition now into 6. This slowdown going to be crucial. Good angle from Lewis, but it allows Zane right back up onto the door. Great chase driving from Zane there. Here's the transition, and it looked to me like there was contact, like there was blocking in the chase position. Wow.
Bit of an extreme reaction from Lewis, but there was contact there, so no, that has to go to
Just
Lewis.
watching it back on the replay, the timing has worked out perfectly. I'm just going to the YouTube replay here. That transition, yep, that was definitely blocked by Zane there. Well, I think that's going to be all she wrote, isn't it, chaps? Anything to overcome there?
Nah, no. That's Lewis's.
That is Lewis's, which means that Lewis Winstanley advances on. So I will go and announce that, and we have the bracket set up now for the top 16. Let me just save that so that you guys can see it in a second. I think we're starting to make progress. We'll move straight through onto the top 16. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to go and announce this win. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have reviewed.
That was almost the wrong time.
We have reviewed that contact that we saw in the second half of that battle. We also made a decision based on the first half of the battle where we saw an excessive slowing from one driver in a specific section of the track. That was a big checkup, and then it was a mistake that we attributed to the chase position in the second half of the battle, blocking transition by Zane, meaning Lewis Winstanley advances on to the top 16. Thank you very much for that, Zane. Good effort. I know you got into the competition last, sort of right at the end of the battle tree. You just ended up coming to the competition late this week, so good driving, well done. Let me show the guys on the stream how the bracket has shaped up. This is what we're going to move on to next, and so that Anders knows who we are going to call. We want the entire first half of the top 16. That is Harry Fox versus Ian Koenig, Warren Greener versus Lucas Potinskas, Callum Craddy versus Ryan Cider, Abdullah Abba Hussain versus Cormac Guard. Those 8 drivers should be coming on to the chat and onto the server. Just those 8 drivers for now, please. On the other side of the battle tree, we have Olav Var versus Serban Matei, Adam Lake versus Louis Fesca, Oliver Eppinger versus Josh Oxley, who's very happy to get through into that top 16, and Shay Mccullough versus Lewis Winstanley. That is going to be a heck of a battle right at the end of the top 16 too. In fact, all of this top 16 battle tree is looking really, really strong. Let's see how this advances. We're getting those 8 guys onto the server now. Harry Fox to lead in Ian Koenig first. Harry Fox, Ian Koenig, you are now under starters orders. Anders, you have control. Thank you. I'm back. Nobody swear. Nobody say anything. Nobody do a thing. We are through into the top 16, and I shall remember to take away the battle tree this time because I'm using my brain. It's sort of awake now I've had some coffee.
Can we have the battle tree?
Can you have the battle tree? You yourselves?
Yes.
1 second.
So we know to click on
in the Discord.
I will put it into the competition,
one of the competition one.
Chat. That is that for there. That's how things are shaping up. There you go. So,
Thank you
our
very
first
much.
one is oh, amazing name. Oh, I missed out on this. Lloyd Ski, thank you for the follow, and Nipple Flipper, thank you very much for the follow. That is a name. That is absolutely a name. Well done. For me, that is sexy as well. That Mustang livery is sexy. Oh, Whitley's giving himself the old big up on the chat. Whitley, man, jeez. Look at you getting slapped down as well. Reefsy laying into him. Brilliant. Right, so we should be moving on. We're expecting Ian Koenig to the start.
We have no Ian.
We have no Ian. Ian Koenig, I am starting your 5-minute countdown now. This is your 5-minute rule using up. Unless I'm missing something, I'm going to have a quick look to see if he's not on the server. Ian Koenig. I do not see him. 5-minute rule starting now. That's under starters orders. I'm going to go and tell them that now.
Hope that wasn't Ben. That just joined.
Hello, I've just joined. but the first thing I heard was hope that wasn't Ben who just joined. So yes, well timed. So where Ian wasn't quite ready for the line, we've triggered his 5-minute rule. So Ian, you are under your 5-minute rule. We're going to move on to the second battle while you join in. Warren Greener versus Lucas Potinskas while Ian joins in, please. Straight to the start line.
Right now, Ben.
Sorry?
He's in right now.
Is he in right now? Okay, if he's in right now, then that's fine. We will stop that. So, Ian and Harry. Harry, sorry, you were at the line. If you can go back to the line, I apologise. We'll go back to Harry Fox, leading in Ian Koenig, who is now on the server.
Field efficiency, Harry.
Thank you very much. Right. You are under starters orders, gentlemen. back in the chat. I'm back in the chat. Right, Ian has turned up. Ian is here. Hopefully he's remembered to put his tune on, because he has done this before where he's joined into the server, felt rushed, and then forgotten to put the tune on the car. But fingers crossed, this time he has. They are under starters orders. Anders has control of them. This is Harry Fox in the big V8 Mustang to lead in. Ian Koenig in that 1J S14. Here we go. He's back in his livery off the line as we go firing into that first corner. Look at Harry Fox getting the hammer down as Ian gets massive angle in the chase position, but it's going to lose in proximity. He drops a wheel over the edge at 2. Starting to get the car dialed back in now, but is he going to be able to reel Harry back in? He shortcuts the track hugely to try and get that proximity back, and he's out onto the wall now coming through. Harry Fox looking very strong in that lead as they go through the power alley out to 6. Harry's slowing it down nicely coming into that inside section at 7. Now we come through the final transition. Is Ian going to be able to punctuate it with a dive? Sort of manages to reel Harry back in. I'm going to have a look at something because I think Ian's on the wrong setup. Let's have a look. Yeah, Ian is on the 300s. He did not load his setup.
Oh god.
I can already tell you now, I know how this battle's going.
Ben,
Ian forgot to set it
This
up.
is why you don't make cars that load in on the wrong tyres.
It's not my fault. Drivers should know what they're doing. They should load their setup. So Ian is firing out there on the 300s. That car is clean off the track. And round we go into this inside field section. He has lost that lead position. That was a clean overtake by Harry. There was nothing to mark against there. Round we come into this section. Ian getting left behind. He is going to be so angry with himself, but I'm afraid he has no one to blame outside of his seat. That is all down to him. I don't think we need anything there, chaps. No discussion at all.
No.
Nope.
Gentlemen, you're on the stream. Ian, don't swear. I know you're angry with yourself.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just one more time.
Okay,
You know you
well,
want
Ian, we had a look after the first run. I wanted to check something, and I can tell you right now that you are not on your setup because you are on the 300 tyre.
Oh my god, I wasn't! Oh my god! Oh my god, please.
Ryan actually said that before you said you
Yeah, right.
Dude! Oh my god!
And you had your 5-minute rule, you had the time, you rushed to get out onto the track, and I said, I even said at the start of that run, you can go back and watch the stream, I said, I really hope he's loaded his setup because he left the pits very quickly. And it turns out you did not, Ian. I'm afraid that you have knocked yourself out of battle there.
No, dude, are you serious?
Harry Fox takes the win and advances on to the Great 8. Who will Harry face? Is it going to be an all V8 battle? Warren Greener versus Lucas Potinskas. Lucas to chase in first. You are now under starters orders, gentlemen. Thank you. I'm back. He had not realised. He had not realised. He is very angry. He even got to the end of that battle and went, oh, come on, it'll be one more time. And then I said, I don't think you realise, but you were not on your setup. And his mind exploded. It was quite depressing to hear. He's going to be so angry with himself. And I even said it. That is the commentator's curse right there, because I even said it at the start of him leaving the pits. I hope he's on his setup, and he wasn't. He hadn't loaded it. He's done it before. This is not anyone else's fault but his. As we get off the line, this is Lucas Potinskas to chase in the man, Warren Greener. We are definitely having an all V8 face-off in the Great 8, but is it going to be Mustang versus Mustang, or is it going to be Mustang versus the little RX-8 as they go flying into this inside section? Warren G looking good in that lead position. He is running slightly shallower than the chase car in some positions, but that is a lower powered car. It only has 600 horsepower. I think that's a perfectly acceptable run. We'll go to Chris and Chris in a second, see what they think. Firing into that last corner. Good line in the lead position from Warren G. I didn't see anything there. Mr. Ennis, anything that jumped out at you from that run?
No, lovely run.
Mr. Viltovsky. Why am I looking at
Suitably aggressive chase, really tidy lead line.
I thought that was nice. As we go, here we are. Mr. Greener chasing in Lucas Potinskas firing into that initiation. Warren G trying to put the power down there, getting that proximity. Look at that dive from the man in the RX-8 as Lucas Potinskas drops a wheel off the inside edge, slows down a lot. Warren just giving him a little bit of a nudge. They're back in. Oh, was that nudge responsible for that spin, or did Lucas just get too greedy with the inside curb?
There were multiple nudges there, unfortunately. Warren hit him a little bit before the transition as well, and then hit him again. I think it's one of those things where the downside of this being a US-based server is that the European guys who are so used to being able to just absolutely bang doors can't.
I'm just watching that back. I saw the contact as they went into 3. I didn't see contact before that spin. I've just watched it back twice.
Oh no, there is. Like he goes to like he's all right normally through the transition, and then the car just pitches to angle because he got hit.
We were just on the wrong camera angle, I think.
Yeah, but just look at his look at the rear of his car. Look at how unnaturally fast he transitions. It's going to get hit.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
did have a bad line.
I think he gets the wheel hooked into that inside
does.
curb, and that pivots him round.
He absolutely does get hit. You can see it. Look at the back of his car as he has finished the transition.
Yeah, but Warren's nowhere near the back of his car at that point.
For you, here's where your connection is letting you down. But again, watch the rear of
it does bounce as he transitions at. Is it clip 3, that one where he spins?
But the thing is, you can see the rear of the car. It goes from normal angle to suddenly he's way deeper and on way more angle because he got hit.
Yeah.
It's hit. There's contact there. So the question becomes, who's at fault for the contact?
The lead car was well over the inside curb, which leaves the chase car nowhere to go, which he'd also done on the previous corner. So yeah, I just watched it one last time.
Thing is, for me, I don't. Yeah, he's tight on the clip, but
he's got his wheels over the inside.
I have to say, I still disagree on there being contact. I know that you're adamant, Chris, but what I'm looking at here, the way that car moves, that suggests his rotation happens as that front wheel hooks back up off the curb. That's the timing on it, is as it bounces back up. I think he doesn't do that. I think it's an independent spin, not a contact, because it's as the compression on the spring comes in on the front right wheel coming back up out of the dip that he puts himself in. It's as it bounces back up and then he gets spun round. I don't think there's contact. Honestly, I don't. I think there is in 3, but I just don't think there is in coming into 4.
How about we put it this way? If there was contact, it was his fault because he had his wheel over the curb anyway.
Mr. Viltovsky?
Goes back to what was said in briefing. So it's what was said about where the lead has to be at that point.
The lead has to be around the outside of that clip. They shouldn't be over the inside curb.
Yeah, in which case then the contact is his fault irrespective of that, because he's on the wrong line, and thus, you know, what we're saying therefore is that would be considered unchaseable and unsportsmanlike.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Are we disagreeing on the way we get there, but we agree that that is the result?
We agree on the result, but I think we do disagree slightly about how we get there.
Okay, I shall go and render verdict. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have watched that back, including some replay, a number of times. We have decided that, having seen the replay and having reviewed the evidence, although we disagree on how we reach this verdict, the verdict was unanimous in the end. And the verdict is that Warren Greener gets the win.
GG.
So Warren Greener gets the win.
Who's leading here, Anders?
And he will advance on to take on Harry Fox. So it's another V8 versus Mustang battle in the Great 8. And it is now Callum Craddy to lead in Ryan Cider. Callum Craddy to lead in Ryan Cider. This is an all Mustang battle. Gentlemen, you are under starters orders.
Mustang crash.
Yeah, that's the one. Good luck, Craddy.
Let me leave the chat. Okay, you're under starter's orders now. Thank you. Right, well, that was a controversial battle that we just saw. Let's see if these two Mustang teammates in their matching UK Mustang RTR liveries with their very different logos all over them can have a good battle here. It is Ryan Cider in the Cider's estate maintenance Mustang in the chase position, and Callum Craddy in the lead in that Umbrella Motorsport Mustang coming firing through into this infield. These guys have got very similar driving styles. Craddy just coming up short on 5 there though. That's going to count against him quite seriously as Ryan just maintains the proximity, knows that all he needs to do is let Craddy make mistakes and not punt into him like he did just as I was saying it. It's the commentator's curse again, as Callum Craddy can't seem to find clips for days. He's just missing them. You could have got a bus in between him and that clip at 8. As they swap around.
Mustang in there.
You could have got another whole Mustang, yeah. You could have got the largest car in human history. Right, here we go. Callum Craddy to chase in Ryan Cider. Here we are, these equal Mustangs coming firing in. Ryan Cider in the lead position, launches that car onto angle. Look at that angle from Ryan as he drops nicely into 2. This is looking like a track that he's at home with, considering how unwell he's been feeling for the last few days. This is fantastic. Is he going to be able to get into 4? Yes, he is. Craddy trying to bring the pressure there, but Ryan also not filling 5. This is going to be almost a repeat of that lead run unless he tidies it up going into this final section. Ryan hooking it in, managing to make 7. 8's going to be crucial here for us in the judging position. Come firing in. Craddy's stalling up as Ryan makes it into 8 with that line running from the outside all the way across that inside section. That is that battle. Let's see. Gentlemen, do you have a verdict?
Yeah, Callum made a fairly sizable chasing error coming into 6. Had a big angle correction.
And had a terrible lead.
And it wasn't a terrible lead, but it wasn't on the clips. And then he makes a mistake again going into 8. I was just watching that on the replay there. So I think we're unanimous that that goes to Ryan.
Yeah.
And you can send me yours.
Gentlemen, you're live on the stream. We have a winner. It is a Ford Mustang, driven by an Englishman.
Okay.
And the winner is Ryan Cider.
I told you.
Ryan gets the win.
I really
Good
enjoyed
battle.
that, mate.
That was a really nice battle. The question will now be, is Ryan facing Abdullah Abu Hussain or Cormac Guard? That is the next battle. Cormac to chase in Abdullah Abu Hussain. You are now under starters orders, gentlemen. Thank you. Well, there we go, there we go, there we go. Ryan Cider taking the win there, advancing on through. Let's see what they thought of that on the stream. Oh, Harry is a monster. People still talking about Harry's battle. A bit of the old rip for people who've been making errors. People might want to update title to top 16. I'm not going to stop the stream and then start it again in order to update to the top 16. We're where we are. And at the moment it's telling me that Twitch is currently experiencing issues with going live. So if I stop the stream, we don't come back. So we're just going to roll on through. We are in the top 16 and they are under orders, and Cormac Guard is already off. I've got to find him. There we are. As they come firing through, Cormac Guard in the chase position, firing in Abdullah Abu Hussain in the lead. This is a nice even battle. It's the first time we've had 13-5 versus 13-5 today as they come firing through into that section. Oh, and there's an error there. We are going to have to assign blame for that contact coming into that section. Gentlemen, what did you see?
My initial thoughts is it was a very slow transition and it looked like he was losing momentum, and that's not a decel through there. But I kind of need the replay first.
Yeah, I'm just. Can we watch it again, or is he sending them? He's sending them. No, he's not. I think he's gonna send them, and we'll have to watch that afterwards. Yep, they're off.
Okay. Cormac Guard in the lead position. Abdullah Abu Hussain chasing him in. As I desperately stuffed my face full of nuts again. Here we go. Firing down onto this inside line. Cormac looking really strong in that lead position. Abdullah Abu Hussain has no answer. A very slow rotation from Abdullah there as they come out through 5. Here's a power alley now down into 6. Is Cormac going to be able to keep this run going smoothly? All the way through this section. Back round nicely through 7 there. Is Abdullah going to get the dive in? Yes, he does. Look at that surge forward onto Cormac's door as they come across the line. Right. Now, the crucial thing here is we need to assign blame for that first run.
Yeah, I'm
just
watching
gone back
it
to the
again
replay.
flying down into clip 3. He's very slow there. We then go to transition.
He was a bit wide, which made it a snappy transition. But
I think there was a
the
lag
other thing
bump
for
from
me.
Cormac.
The other thing for me that I think it's Abdul's fault. Look at his smoke line. His smoke line completely disappears before the transition and is still. It only just picks up as Cormac hits him. So for me, that's unreasonable. There's no reason to be that off throttle there.
No, that's
if
fair.
you're on the right line there, you should be hard on throttle, basically immediately, like from a little bit off throttle as you go through the transition, and then back on throttle hard.
It was only a second as he transitioned.
Yeah, but
all it takes.
that transition
all
is
it
not
takes.
meant to be a decel section, and it's not just for the transition, because if you look at it, just as he comes in, I'm just coming through clip 3 on the replay now. As they come through, he comes over the
Smoke line
hump.
drops there as well.
Yeah, just before the hump, he comes off the smoke, so he's already slow there. And then as he goes for the transition, the car is rotated and stable, and then he gets back on the gas, and the smoke line starts again. So it's not actually rotates and then goes. It's rotates, gets stable, then goes.
Yeah,
So it is
and
actually
in that time he gets hit because there's not really anywhere for Cormac to go because he's expecting the lead to actually be on power.
Yeah. Because everyone else has been on power through that transition. That is one of those transitions that you can do as a high-speed full, like you can clutch kick on throttle through that transition.
Yep. So easy.
Well, either way, even if Chris Ennis disagrees with us there, that is a 2-1 verdict. But Chris, for the sake of knowing,
I am on the fence about it.
Would you go?
If you're on the fence, then you either call it as you either go with 5-5 and then you call that first run a wash and then judge it off the second run, or you just go completely against us.
Yeah, well, if we did it that way, Cormac had a much better lead and Abdullah was nowhere in the chase, so...
Yep. So you'd still give it to Cormac either way?
Yeah.
Oh, gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have a verdict. This came down fundamentally to who we deemed to be at fault for that contact. At the point of contact, we decided that, viewing the footage repeatedly, it appeared that Abdullah Abu Hussain was off throttle in an area where the track was not an off throttle section. As a result, we deemed him to be at fault for that contact in that section. That was a 2-1 verdict. Chris Ennis called it a 50-50 issue, and with that in mind, he then went on to judge it on the second run, in which Cormac's lead was significantly stronger. As a result, we give that to Cormac. Guard advances on to the Great 8 to take on Ryan Cider. Good battle all round, chaps. Thank you very much.
Good luck. We have a guy that's nowhere
Get the
to be
first
found in
place,
the
bro.
Yeah, I'll try.
No problem, boys.
So we have half of our Great 8 set up now, and as I know you're trying to talk to me in a second, just let me get this up on the screen. So that is currently showing our Great 8 as it shapes up right now. Harry Fox to take on Warren Greener, Ryan Cider to take on Cormac Guard. Next up we will have Olav Var versus Serban Matei, Adam Lake versus Louise Fesca, Oliver Eppinger versus Josh Oxley, and Shay McCullough versus Lewis Winstanley. What's the problem?
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, no worries. You're driving every week is really great. I'm loving having you here, so please do keep coming.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fascia nowhere to be found on the Discord.
Who's that, sorry?
Fascia.
Louise Fesca.
Yeah.
Okay. If you put a message in the... In fact, I'll do it.
I don't have Discord text.
No. I was going to put it in the competition chat.
Oh, he just connected to the server.
Oh, there we go. We just need him to join the Discord.
Just happened.
There we go. Welcome. Thank you, Luis. That's good. So, Olav Var to lead in Serban Matei. Serban Matei to chase first. You guys can now head to the line, and I see you're already there. You are now under starters orders. Thank you very much. Anders, you have control. We were just waiting on Louis Fesca to join the server. He had got delayed, and I didn't even have to start his 5-minute. We have Serban Mate chasing in Olav Var. They are off. Serban Mate, the podium holder from last round of DMVC, which Chris is also involved in, trying to chase down Olav Var. Olav Var's looking strong in that lead position, just drops a wheel, starts to slow him back down there, allows Serban Mate back into that battle in that big E92. This transition is going to be crucial. Yeah, look at that. Finally, someone taking that transition cleanly after the last few battles where it's been crucially important. Now that transition, that was a big angle up from Olav Var coming out of 5. Is Serban Mate going to be able to hang with him here into this D-cell section? Two very different cars, two very different setups, both driving nicely, but Olav Var misses out on that clip 8 completely. Gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes. Chris Ennis says yes. Tonight on the Tsujigiri. Oh, I've done it again. I'm so sorry to the guys on the server.
Oh,
oh God, I hate that. I hate that I keep
they're off
doing
again.
that.
They're off again.
He's so professional.
There's just so much for one person to do. As Serban Mate goes tanking into 2, drops that wheel, has that massive slowdown error as they come flying through. Here's the transition now, out and across, round into 5. That's it nicely now. Here's the transition up into 6, that power alley. Olav Var struggling to stay with Serban Mate into that section. Serban looking a little bit more consistent with the throttle. Is that error at 2 going to be enough to really mark him down as he comes round and through? Big angle up, stalls into 8. That is definitely a mark against Serban Mate as they come through there. Chris Viltovsky.
That was a load of wank.
So professional.
I mean,
I know.
You got a more professional way of describing that?
I mean, for me, that was so error-strewn from both sides. I want to send them again.
I just want to send it again because that wasn't a battle. That was just a who feels like making less mistakes, and the answer is nobody.
Not even discuss it.
Yeah.
Send them again.
Nobody wins here.
Drifting loses overall for sure.
It's not worth.
Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have reached a verdict, and our verdict was that, considering the standard of both of you as drivers, that drifting was the loss there, and you both need to go again and do it better. So, one more time, we're going to rerun the fun, head back, get fresh tyres, back to the line, start it all over again, and this time, please drive as we know you both can drive. That was error strewn on both halves. Serban Mate to chase first, Olav Var to lead. That is our first. One more time. You are under starters orders, gentlemen. Now, thank you. Right, here we go. Let's see if we can have a battle befitting these two drivers. Serban Mate to chase in first of all. Here we go. Olav Var on the run in. That's a big initiation from both of these guys. They come flying round and down into this outside zone, dropping out tyres nicely onto that outside edge. This is a much better looking battle through this first section, and just as I say that, Olav Var fails to make it into 3, coming up short on 3, causing Serban Mate to straighten up behind, or to tighten up behind him rather, as they come through the power alley now. Is Serban able to hold with him? Yeah, Olav looking a little bit better in that lead position, but it's a big slowdown. He just makes it into 7 there. This transition is going to be crucial. Is he going to make it to 8 this time? No, he is not. 8 is not an optional clip. That is part of the track line, people. You're meant to be getting in it. Olav Var will now have to chase Serban Mate. So he's missed out on 3 and he missed out on 8. That is definitely going to come into play later on. Thankfully, I have not left the bracket up. Here we go. Serban Mate leading in Olav Var. Now we're going to fire it in. This is that big initiation. Serban Mate, look at that straight lining from Olav Var, trying to stay there. Serban doesn't drop a tyre off the edge this time. He manages to hold it on track. That's a much tighter line for him through there, or tidier rather than tighter, as that's a late transition from Olav Var, trying to get that proximity back. Call. This has started to swing one way. Is Olav going to be able to get back in the fight? Is Serban going to mess it up all by himself? Almost. Just pushes across. That was a very late dive into that 7. Is he going to be able to hold the angle off this time through 8? Yes, he is. I agree with Chris. For me, that was lost around clip 5, 4 to 5. It was all over.
I would say for me it was also lost on the entry. Olav goes in very low angle and very fast. That causes him to wash out once he gets down the bottom of 2, and then he basically drives through the transition into 5.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, okay, Serby just doesn't shed speed where he should, but it kind of doesn't matter at that point. Olav has made so many independent chasing errors that, meh.
So we give that to Serban?
Yes.
Okay, I shall go and tell them. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. Please do not swear. We have a winner from that battle. Having reviewed it and looked primarily at the second half of that battle, that win goes to Serban Mate. Well done, Serban. You advanced through onto the top. To the Great 8. That was a much better battle, much more of what we expect from both of you. Before I move away, Adam Lake, Louise Fesca to the line, please. You are now under starters' orders. Adam to lead first. Well. So, there we go. We're starting to see how the Great 8 is going to shape up, and that is Serban Mate. Is he taking on Adam Lake or Louise Fesca? This is starting to get interesting. Serby looking really strong this week in that E92. He's got it dialed in. He's starting to look a lot more controlled. So, Adam Lake to lead in. Louise Fesca is next. And this looks like it could be a good battle as they're already off the line going firing in. That's a nice initiation from Adam Lake. Louise Fesca's right there though. Look at that, pushing up onto the door already smoothly through that section out to 3. Now tightening in. This transition's been crucial all night coming into 4. Louise Fesca just washes wide but then hooks it back up onto inside edges. Adam runs it all the way around through 5 with great angle. Look at that. That car's looking really stable there. Slightly slow decel, slightly late as well as he comes in, just making it into 7 with a bit of contact beforehand. I personally see that as being Adam at fault there in that slowdown, but the guys will have their own opinions. Let's see, gentlemen.
Personally, I think Adam would have made 7 and 8 if he hadn't have been punted.
Interesting. Let's see. Chris?
Probably, but also it was real slow.
It was real slow, yeah. Here we go. We are into the second half of this battle as Adam is chasing in Louise Fesca. Adam very straight there as Louise uses angle, that massive angle to come screwing round into 3. Beautifully executed there as Adam's now on the transition. A much snappier transition in the chase position from Adam that time than Louise managed last time. Here's the transition through the power alley out to 6. This decel's going to be crucial as Adam doesn't make it into 6. Louise also slowing down massively. Similar kinds of speeds there, but no contact this time as they come round. Is Louise Fesca going to make it into 8? Yes, just, but not smoothly. Not the clean run that we've seen from these guys before. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I'd still just give it to Adam because he didn't have some punterinos in the chase, and as he said, lead to lead, they were both very similar in both being real slow coming through that last 2 corner area.
Adam had a massive straighten in the chase, didn't it? Or a wash, or an understeer.
Where?
Just coming into 2, I think. Let me just run the replay. John Snowden, thank you for the follow. Yeah, just coming into 2, he's very, very shallow out of 2 and into that slowdown, and he has a bit of a waddle there.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Looks like it just grabs a load of understeer.
Lead to lead, I think they're very, very similar, but chase to chase.
For me, then I would at that point I would go that's a major error on Adam's part for 1, but then
I think that's equal to the error in the final part of the OMT for me as well.
Yep, do it.
Cool.
Do it again.
Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. That is a 1 more time. After equal errors in different places from both drivers, we are sending you again. Please get fresh tyres. You are immediately under starters' orders and as you have control. Thank you. Well,
I don't care if the dog's actually female. Like dogs are always a boy.
No, that's he. She will be upstairs, laying next to the bed because my missus is in bed.
Ah, right. So
here we go. Louise Fesca to chase in. Lake in the lead position. Here we go. He's lurid coloured cars as Adam goes for that big flick into 1. Nicely executed. Louise Fesca's right there this time. He's pushing that pressure on all the way through that first corner. Adam getting nicely out to 3 there. That's a good bit of line through that first corner. Nicely controlled. Good transition from Adam. Little bit slow to rotate back to angle on the other side, just as I said that, but he got through in 4 cleanly. As Louise Fesca dives up the inside, Adam slowing that car down. That's the same rate to angle that we saw from both drivers in that first half of this battle when they were doing the first runs. And then Adam sends it in. Is he going to make it into 7 and 8? Yes, he's made it into 8 and across the line. Louis Fesca in that chase position. Adam Lake now to switch round. They're going straight under starters orders. That was a much better battle. That was what we wanted to see. That was good from both drivers. Here we go. Can we get another excellent run like that? As Adam Lake chases in Louis Fesca. Here they go, off the line. Firing down the straight into the initiation. Good angle rate there from both drivers, but Louis Fesca just getting a bit of a gap from Adam. Adam slowly coming up onto that door, keeping the angle. Much better angle through that half of the battle there as they come through onto that second section. Louis Fesca not quite getting into 4 as cleanly as he had before, but this is going to be crucial now in this final section. Is Adam going to be able to keep the pressure on all the way through here? Yes, he is. Look at that real close proximity for me there. That's nice as they come into the second half here. Is it going to be a wash? Louis not quite making it into 8, and Adam had to double adjust his angle there to try and maintain the proximity because Louis didn't make it to 8.
For me, that was a one more time until Louis missed 8.
For me, I would give it to I would give that to Louis because his lead isn't as clean as Adam's by not a great margin, but chase to chase, Adam just made a litany of errors through that whole first sector and a half, whereas Louis was just on his door.
Your thoughts, Ben?
Chase to chase, innit?
I think lead to lead, they were both good lead runs. I think chase to chase. I don't know why I'm trying to reimagine that first run. Let's just go back and watch it. So, Adam.
Louise enters in, gets the dive right, and is just on his door the whole way through.
Adam doesn't get the proximity until after clip 2, and then he holds it all the way through. That's nice.
Whereas Louise
he's
left angle a lot of the time, but he's using it to maintain the proximity, and he's being super aggressive with it. Whereas Adam just can't do the same thing. So for me, it's Louise all day.
See, I don't know.
And Adam also misses clip 8.
I think Adam. Oh, does Adam miss clip 8 in the lead?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. I'm just watching the replay again.
He's not on it. He's not as wide as Louise, but he's certainly not on the clip.
No,
he's on
I
just
couldn't
about
tell
the
if
second
Louise
line
was
of it.
pushing him away from it. That was the only thing.
No, he didn't. There was no contact.
In that case, yeah. In that case, yeah. I agree with Chris. I think that one goes to Louise. I agree with Chris. Which one, damn it? Right. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream and we have a verdict. We went back and reviewed that very carefully as it was almost a one more time. In fact, Chris Ennis did award a one more time. Chris Viltovsky had a winner. His winner was Luis. And I was the deciding vote. I almost went one more time until going back and reviewing the lead to lead, seeing that they had equal mistakes in lead from both Adam and Louis Fesca coming through 8. Neither of you made it into clip 8. However, in the chase position, purely on the strength of the overall chase, and especially weighted between clips 1 and 2, the win is Louis Fesca. Well done. You advance through to the Great 8, where you will face Serban Mate.
GG Ada.
Good run though, Adam. Really nice battles. Well done. You've been driving nicely all evening, and that was a really close one. It almost went one more time for a second time. So, next up, Oliver Eppinger to lead in Josh Oxley. Josh Oxley to chase Oliver Eppinger. You gentlemen are now under starters' orders. Thank you very much.
A government filter.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yes.
Oh God, what have I missed? So, Josh Oxley.
Just discussing internet routing issues and certain nations having very controlled internet access from the Middle East.
Yes. Josh Oxley, this is his first time through into a top 16. All he wanted to do today was qualify for the top 16, beating one person. That was all he hoped for. Is he going to be able to continue his victory run? Is he going to get past Oliver Eppinger? He's not with a first corner like that.
I believe Ben has just commentated, cursed the man.
I like to throw the commentator's curse around as much as possible. I use it liberally as a way to ruin people's lives. Here we go into the second half of this run. That's nicely done there by Josh Oxley, slowing that big car down, getting right up onto the door of Oliver Eppinger here. The man from Tasmania doing everything he can to try and bring the fight in the second half of this run. But there was a big gap in the first corner. Is Oliver Eppinger going to have the same problems keeping up with Josh Oxley as he goes through that first section, or is he going to be able to overturn that by absolutely pinning it to his door? Here we go. We know the 13.5 fast off the line, but the Mustang is incredibly quick on the run-in. It's a short run-in into that first corner, but Oliver Eppinger right there keeping the angle off as Josh Oxley does an almost perfect wheel drop. Just the sparks flying as the chassis grinds along the edge there. This is not meant to be Tony Hawk's, chaps. You're meant to keep it on the track. We don't want to see grinds as he comes around now. Oliver Eppinger diving up onto there, but a little bit of a straighten from Oliver Eppinger in the chase position there. And he's dropped a wheel. That's an error. These errors are starting to creep in from Oliver Eppinger. Josh Oxley misses clip 7 completely, but is it going to be enough? Is he going to be able to hang on as he hooks it into 8 as contact again from Oliver Eppinger and across the line? I have a verdict. Before you guys say anything, this is where I'm sat with that. For me, Josh won that because although there were errors from both in the chase position, Josh's only error was a lack of proximity until halfway between 2 and 3, whereas Oliver Eppinger had the proximity there, but then made 2 or 3, maybe even 4 errors in the chase in the second half of that course.
Yeah. And Josh's lead was very nice.
It was chaseable. It was really chaseable.
Yeah.
It was tidy.
Mr. Viltovsky?
The only thing I'm thinking is OMT, because yeah, Josh isn't there in T1, but also like the only reason he doesn't go off track on turn 1 is because he has to completely back out of it, which is a huge error in the chasing position. Then he has to undercut the line to even catch back up to Oliver massively, and he's only actually back on his door by the end.
It is a massive slowdown.
I'm just going to just to re-watch that.
Whereas Oliver is making errors because he's being aggressive and he's going for the door. So I would view that more kindly because he's at least
we've got a major error versus minor errors.
Yeah, so I would go.
I don't think that
I would go OMT.
I don't think it was necessarily a full major error in that chase position for Josh coming into turn 1. I'm just watching it back again. He misses 2, but he goes wide.
Look at the.
But his smoke line doesn't change. He's on the throttle the whole way.
Yeah, but he goes super wide early. Then he has to make he's got to stay on throttle there, or he's going off track. So that's why his smoke line doesn't change. But that's
he did very well to keep it under control.
It's OMT for me because it's like both leads are pretty solid, and it's just both chases have
That was my initial thought.
Was your initial thought one more time as well, Chris?
Yes. Before you said anything, yes. Right. My initial thought was
I will
one
go
more
and
time.
render a verdict. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. I had a winner in that battle. My winner in that battle was Josh Oxley. I was overruled. Both Christophers said, one more time, you're going again, please get fresh tyres, let's rerun the fun. You are immediately under starters orders, Josh Oxley to chase in first, and as you have control. Well, an interesting one, a very, very interesting one. This is a chance to see what's happening. The deciding factor seems like I missed clip 8 on the second run. His lead misses clip 8. Oh, good, I've already got protests coming in. Never mind, we'll deal with that afterwards. So here we go. This is Josh Oxley in the chase position. Is he going to be able to maintain that proximity this time? Try and keep it with Oliver Eppinger. That's much, much better from Josh Oxley. Maybe it was just the nerves going into that first half of the battle. Is he going to be able to maintain this proximity the whole way through? Look at him dive onto that inside edge, trying to keep the pressure onto Oliver Eppinger as they come through. Here's the transition now coming out into that section. Here's the slowdown now. Josh is absolutely pinning it to Oliver Eppinger into this section. This is a much better run, and look at the way he manages to control that Mustang into that pocket on the transition. Very nice run indeed.
Quite hilarious just how big the Mustang is.
It's so big. It's
What
just
a lovely run.
so big.
An S chassis, an S chassis is not that small.
No.
And the Mustang dwarfs.
It just dwarfs it in every way. It's enormous. And here we go, the second half of this battle. Josh Oxley leading in Oliver Eppinger. Is Oliver Eppinger going to be able to maintain that proximity? Josh was absolutely bringing it in that first run. Here he is. Josh on a lovely lead line there. This transition is going to be crucial. Oliver Eppinger knows now that he's got to bring the heat if he wants to get this battle sorted. All tied up and on into the Great 8. Nice transition there from both guys. Oh, and there's contact. There's contact as they come through. We'll have to assign blame for that contact as they come into the final turn, round the corner and across the line.
Up until that contact, for me, that was almost going to be another one more time.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely
Oliver did have a straighten just after the wall run.
Let's watch that. I've just got literally just got to that part on the replay. Let's have a look as we come through.
It's more holding the transition back.
Yeah, it's more holding off the transition. I wouldn't have called that a straighten, but I don't think Josh Oxley decelled excessively.
No, I didn't look
trying to find it.
Just watching it again. He's not on the grass. It's under control. He's still using good throttle. He's just modulating off that handbrake to get it hooked in. He was making it to 7, definitely.
The only question is, does he lag just before the hit?
He's not had massive lag issues.
That's the thing, though. It can be like this, where it can be random. Because look at Josh's attitude. He jumps backward, literally before the contact. He jumps backwards.
If you look at it, it's right in the detail zone.
And yeah, I know that's not what I'm saying, Chris. What I'm saying is that this caused by a lag issue. Because if it was, then it's whoever lags.
I don't think it was, because I don't think. I'm just watching that again. I get what you're saying, Chris, and I do think there is a moment of lag there. But I don't think, like, looking at the rate of decel, even if there hadn't been lag there, that rate of decel that Oliver has.
Oliver just closes a little too quickly.
It was just too much send.
Yeah. Yeah, I think irrespective of the lag there, I think it would have just been a little too much.
It was really, he was eager to get on that door and really stamp his authority, and I think where he held off that transition, he ended up picking up too much speed. I don't think he was going to slow it down even if there hadn't been the lag hit.
Yeah, I would concur.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go and make someone's day. Yeah, I know, it's definitely worth checking. I'm glad we've got the replays now. You were right to encourage me to use YouTube as well. Gentlemen, we have a verdict. In the end, it was unanimous, as was the fact that it very almost went one more time until a very specific incident. We see contact coming out of clip 6 into the slowdown for clip 7. We have reviewed the evidence, and whilst there is a moment of lag interruption on behalf of Josh Oxley, we do not feel that is sufficient to explain the contact, and as a result, Josh Oxley gets the win and advances on to the Great 8.
You just dethroned.
Congratulations.
Ben, I hate you for the suspense. Just say no.
Well, in that case, I'm doing the job right, but you got it, man. You are through to your Great 8. That is your second win of the evening. You will now find out whether you face Shay Mccullough or Lewis Winstanley. Shay to lead in Lewis. Gentlemen, you are now under starters' orders. Let's get going. The last battle of the top 16 about to get underway. Shay Mccullough to leave in Lewis Winstanley. If I can... Oh, got a pop-up in the way. Go away. Lewis Winstanley off the line. There we go. As they come firing through, this is going to be crucial. These guys drive together a lot as they come firing down and into that point. Nicely through too. Lewis Winstanley looking much happier, but there's a moment of contact. That was definitely a lag hit. We'll have to assign blame for that in a minute. Lewis Winstanley in the transition, trying to get up onto Shay's door. Shay pushing through nicely out through 5. Here's the transition down into 6. Now, this has been the point where it's been most contentious all evening. Nicely railed in there by Lewis Winstanley, using that little SR20 that can, through the transition, back up onto Shay McCullough's door, round and across the line. Right. Before they get going on the next one,
No, they'll go. We'll have to watch it
They
after.
will go. I'm just having a look.
Well, the contact, I think
contact
it's
was
just
Shay.
more Lewis being a little bit too far under the
Yeah.
line.
Oh, it
I
looked
think
to me
Lewis
like
was
Shay
just-
lagged, dropped down really hard, but I just watched it. We'll have a look again in a second as they send it again. This is going to be crucial now. Can Lewis open up a gap? Will he be able to stamp his authority enough to overturn any issues that may have occurred from that first run? Washing both
Good
of them,
chase
not
drive
quite
there.
getting
Good,
cleanly in there.
Really good chase driving there.
Really nice from both drivers as they come tucking in. Lewis Winstanley out onto that outside line, looking strong now through 5. Here's the slowdown into 6 and 7. That's good. Angling up nicely. Mccullough controlling that beautifully in the chase position. Here's the transition now. Is Lewis going to make it back onto the inside? Yes, he is, round and across the line. So a moment of understeer from Lewis Winstanley there in the second run. I'm going back now. The first thing I want to see is that coming into clip 3 from the first battle. So I see
Okay.
Lewis had a bit of understeer in the first corner. Oof.
I think that contact in the first run was Shay having a lag moment. I think Lewis is close in there, but oh man, it's.
I think the contact there is almost incidental. It kind of doesn't really affect anything. It's certainly not enough to be like, you lose the battle, I don't think. Because the other thing is that Lewis had an absolutely god-awful turn 1, is like nearly straight coming past clip 2, is then on super low angle and really undercutting the line, so it exacerbates any like potential for a hit.
Yeah,
doesn't really affect anything, and then by the time we actually get to the transition, he's back where he would have been anyway, and is still just pedaling as hard as he can to try and keep up, and can't really do it. Whereas on the reverse of this, Shay is much more dominant, much more aggressive throughout the whole chase run. And again, Lewis has his own independent errors in that leading position. In a very similar manner, coming through clip 2, has a big understeer moment, gets off throttle, gets back on it again, and Shay does really, really well to not cause contact. So for me, Shay takes the win.
Chris, do you have a differing opinion?
No, I don't have a different opinion. Somebody is. Yeah, no. Shay for me.
Okay, I shall go and render our verdict. So, that means we now know the full shape of our Great 8. Gentlemen, we have reached a verdict. Looking at lead versus lead and chase versus chase, we find one driver with errors in both the lead and the chase position. In this instance, that driver is Lewis Winstanley. Shay Mccullough advances on to the Great 8. Congratulations,
Nice one,
Shay.
Lewis.
Good driving from both guys. So we now need Harry Fox, Warren Greener, Ryan Cider, Cormac Guard, Serban Matei, Louis Fesca, Josh Oxley and Shay Mccullough on the server, please. I'm going to announce that onto the stream as well. Show the guys on the stream the bracket as it says right now. So that is our bracket. This is how it's looking at the moment, guys. So we have Harry Fox to take on Warren Greener. That is Mustang versus RX-8 again. Ryan Cider versus Cormac Guard. These guys have drawn each other a number of times over the last few weeks. Ryan in the Mustang, Cormac in that 13.5. Serban Matei versus Louis Fesca. That is an all 13.5 battle if memory serves. And then Josh Oxley in the Mustang versus Shay Mccullough in the 13.5. This is going to be a really interesting Great 8. Harry Fox to lead in Warren Greener first. Warren and Harry, you gentlemen are under starters orders. Thank you very much, Anders. You have control. As I drop down to the other chat. Judges, hello. So, here we go. Warren in the chase position, chasing in Harry Fox in that lead in the big Mustang. 16 cylinders once again, about 1,500 horsepower only this time, as Warren G is really using that RX-8 to effect around this smaller track. Absolutely pinning it to the door, but he's too aggressive. That is definitely too aggressive as he comes into that section. I couldn't see anything from Harry Fox there that warranted that. that warranted that contact from Warren as they come into the slowdown now into this final section of the track, round through. Here's the D-cell round into 7. I'm going to go back immediately and watch that contact on the replay. Oh, I might take that back. We'll come back to that after we've seen this second half of the battle.
Oh yeah, no, that's Harry's fault. Like, you see it, like he just has a massive, like understeer moment that causes the contact. But yes.
He's definitely off throttle at the moment of contact. I've just seen it in the replay, but we'll come back to that and analyse it properly afterwards. Here we go. This initiation is going to be crucial. Harry has got to rein everything in as he comes firing into this section. It looked to me on that first one like it was Warren at fault until we watched the replay, but now Harry has to make sure that Warren feels the pressure coming through this section. This transition is going to be crucial. This is where the contact happened last time, as Warren absolutely flying round through clip 5 there, nicely out to 6. This is the D-cell. Harry's bringing that proximity. The big Mustang has been doing well around this small course, surprisingly, into the transition, down into the slowdown, and Warren just hooks it into 8 and across the line. For me, that all comes down to that contact, and having just reviewed the replay...
Warren took him for me. Harry just completely just cucked himself.
Yep.
Just backed off power, massive there.
Agreed.
Okay. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. A good battle all round. We enjoyed that a lot. However, it came down to who we assigned blame to for the contact in the first run. Having reviewed the replay a number of times, we see that at the point of contact on all of our screens, we see Harry as being off throttle in a full throttle zone, and therefore with that correction he is at fault for that contact, meaning that Warren Greener advances on to the final 4. Congratulations to Warren. Congratulations to Harry on making it to the Great 8 again this week. Looking really strong. We've enjoyed having you on again. The Mustang surprisingly well handled round here. And Warren G will now find out whether he will face another Mustang in the shape of Ryan Cider, who will lead in Cormac Guard for the next battle. Gentlemen, you are now under starters orders. Thank you, Anders. Cormac Guard to chase in on this first run. Cormac Guard to chase in Ryan Cider. Peppert, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along as we send them out of the gate. Cormac Guard going to be flying in. We know Ryan's very quick through this first corner as Cormac goes absolutely steaming onto that inside edge. Ryan running that huge angle. Look at that, using the big Mustang's angle to slow himself down as they come through into the infield now. This big transition onto this section. This is where Harry started to lift out, but nothing of the kind from Ryan as he keeps that pedal firmly welded to the ground through this section. The big slowdown, the Mustang angling up to make it into clip 7 in that 77 car, that 77 car, as he comes through the transition onto the inside. Cormac's right there. Oh! And contact. I'm going to watch straight across.
Yeah, it was just Cormac just being a little bit too much of an aggression monkey.
Cormac gone aggression monkey. Ryan's looking smooth. He's on throttle. Yeah, I agree with the guys. We've just watched it on the replay. That was perfectly timed in time for them to send this again. So, Ryan Cider will now chase in Cormac Guard. This is really important. Ryan cannot get overextended here. This is his chance to beat someone who has been beating him fairly consistently for weeks now. Cormac has been an absolutely sterling strong driver. Ryan just needs to stay with him in an active chase without spanking it too hard into anything. As Cormac runs the wall beautifully at 5, Ryan's in that chase position through the transition. This is crucial. Don't let it get out of control, guys. You've just got to get to the end of this run. Ryan's firing through this transition is going to be crucial now as they come through into 8 and across the line. Gentlemen, was there anything there to overturn that mistake from Cormac in the final section?
No.
Hang on, I'm just watching the first run back just for proximity, because Ryan's proximity was awful.
But he will have known that that was a big switch. The contact at the end was not incidental. That was a big moment of contact coming into the final corner. I classify that as a major personally.
That's almost, in a real car, that would have been a 10-0 because you'd have rolled the car.
Wheel to wheel, that would have been, that'd have been kaboing.
Yeah. He was saved by the physics engine there. I think Ryan's chase was exactly appropriate.
Lack of a wheel.
He was there, but he wasn't. I thought he was going to mess it up into the second to last hairpin, actually, because he came in a bit hot.
Came in incredibly hot. To me, that it looked more like Ryan just can't quite keep up more than anything.
Yeah.
You see he's pushing and he just can't match the pace.
But nothing overturns that car writing off contact.
No. No.
I will go and render the verdict.
Indeed, very, very nearly did.
Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have a verdict. It very almost went the other way. But we went back and we reviewed the contact in the first battle to assign fault. That one was important because Ryan's chase was almost an inactive chase in the second battle. Cormac definitely had the advantage in the second half of that battle. However, looking at the contact, we could see no reason for Ryan to be receiving that contact in the first half of the battle, and in a real car that would have been a run-ending bit of contact. As a result, because of the wheel-on-wheel contact in that part of the battle, we deem Ryan Cider to be the winner, knocking out Cormac Guard and going on
Sorry, Cormac.
to the final four.
Sorry.
I've never heard a winner apologise quite so profusely, but that means that Warren Greener has to now knock out yet another Mustang to make his way to the final. He must now beat Ryan Cider on that half of the bracket. Next up, Serban Matei will take on Louise Fesca, and Serban in the E92, Louise chasing in that, I believe, S13.5. I'll just switch across and confirm. You gentlemen are now under starters orders. Thank you very much, Anders. Right, Louise Fesca chasing in that 13.5, going to be going up against the E92. Once again, we have the red cars. The red car will win. Let's see how this is going to shape up. This is looking really, really good. There's a lot of support. People giving a lot of support for Harry on the chat. Sadly, unfortunately, they're all supportive even when Harry's knocked out. That's great to see you guys showing that he's given a lot of respect there. But as we come firing in, it is now all about Louise Fesca and Serban Matei as Serbi goes smoothly round in that lead position. Nice angling up, and that's a little bit of a check-up from Louise there. We'll have to decide whether we thought that Serbi overslowed as he comes through into that section. Nicely through 5. Here's the big slowdown at 6. Nice angle up. Serbi's been doing that exact same line all night. As they come firing through, here's the transition there. Round onto the inside edge. Nicely from Serbi, just opening up a gap from Louise Fesca as they come across the line.
Yeah, it's because Serbi went wide off 8. He went for a fast line rather than coming into the last clip.
He did indeed. It's going to be interesting to see. This is going to look interesting in the second half of this battle. It's going to be crucial for Serban Matei not to make any mistakes here, because actually that wasn't a perfect lead run as he comes firing in. Louise Fesca on an absolute stormer of a line through that first corner, but Serban Matei is right there. Look at him tucked up into the pocket of that lead car. Louise Fesca on the transition now. Serban early on that transition, getting nicely up onto the door. Look at that tucked in as they run the wall together. Serban Matei going for the dive. This transition and slowdown is going to be crucial. Louise Fesca slowing a lot there. Wow, that was a lot of slowdown, a double slowdown as Serbi controls it well, manages to avoid the contact round here, but there is contact, and that would have been important and across the line. I think the response on that one for me, guys, the impact on that contact was the opposite of the one with Ryan and Cormac.
For me, Serbi takes the win. Like the contact at the end, I'd always just go with being a bit of a 5-5. Like Serbi's being super aggressive, but the ping is kind of more what causes it than anything. So nah, whatever. But the rest of that chase run, the aggression
was immense. Was absolutely immense. Yeah, I totally agree.
I am a big fan of aggression.
Chris Ennis?
Yes.
Yes, Chris Ennis says yes tonight for the second time.
Serbi. Yeah, the contact was unfortunate. It wasn't as hard as
the thing for me on that contact is that if we're saying that in Ryan's contact in a real car it would have been run ending, for me in a real car that would not have had that dramatic an outcome. That would have just been an incidental in a real car, but it was just the lag spike of the contact that caused it to look like a much bigger hit.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so we are agreed. That is unanimous. So I will go and render our verdict. Hello, gentlemen. You are live on the stream. We have a verdict based on what we have just seen. Entirely based almost on lead versus lead, chase versus chase. The chase aggression was the crucial thing here. We saw a lot of close contact there. We decided that that was incidental in the second half of that run, and it would not have resulted in the last size of the bump that we saw. As a result, we deem that win to be Serban Mate advancing on into the final four. Very, very close. Well done, guys. That was a lovely battle. But now we will see Josh Oxley to lead in Shay Mccullough. Josh Oxley to lead first. Shay to chase. Gentlemen, you are under starters' orders.
It will be
Shay Mccullough and Josh Oxley.
Josh Oxley to lead in Shay Mccullough. So Shay Mccullough there. People asking in the chat if we drift competitively in real life. Yes, I've had a pro license since 2009. So, yes, I do understand the mechanics before people start being critical of the judging here. We are very familiar with how real-life drifting works. As we come firing into this initiation, Josh Oxley in the lead position in that big Mustang. Shay Mccullough in the chase as they come firing through there into the big slowdown. Look at the angle from Josh Oxley. He's been using that Mustang all night like that. Just dropping a wheel a little bit at 3 as he comes into the infield now. Now round out onto the outside wall at 5. Shay Mccullough is putting him under a huge amount of pressure there. That is some cracking chase driving from Shay, but a little bit of a wobble from both drivers as they come into the decel. Look at that proximity from Shay as we come through into the transition. This is now going to be the big slowdown. Is Josh going to be able to make it into 7? Yes, he is just about, and across the line.
For me, that was going really well for Josh, and then he just had that bobble through the power alley area, and then from there on down, Shay just takes heavy advantage throughout the rest of that run because he'd done a good job up until that point and hadn't really made any appreciable errors in the chase.
For me, there was a little bit of contact in the first corner.
Swap it round. Josh Oxley coming through. Oh, that was a big ping lag. Wow. You have to watch that and see. That was huge. That was definitely.
That's not how you want to see things.
And then he was like, "You're supposed to be sideways."
That looked to me like that was Josh just getting Tasmanian ping and getting absolutely railed into the side of Shay Mccullough there. Slowing down nicely here, trying to make the best of that run. Constantly tapping, knocking on the door of Shay Mccullough as they come through into the slowdown and across the line.
Yeah, just a lag hit, so that's unfortunate, but that's whoever lags is at fault, thus Josh is at fault. 10-0 to lead car.
That's a real shame. Oh well, I have to go and render that. I can't argue against that. That's in the rules. That's what we'd said. Let's have a look.
Also cool.
Gentlemen, you were on the stream. That is not how we wanted to see that battle go. We definitely didn't want it to end that way. Josh Oxley, you've been driving brilliantly all night, but sadly, in our rules, it states that in the event of a lag hit resulting in run-ending contact, that has to be given against the person for whom the lag spike is the highest. And I'm afraid in this instance that we think Shay's internet was the one that was most stable there. It is a technical victory for Shay Mccullough, which is a real shame because that was something we wanted to see.
I'll just say the contact was my fault anyway. My initiation felt a bit scrappy because I was side by side with him, which I should not have done. So that was on me on that one anyway. It wasn't lag on my screen, so I definitely hit him.
Okay.
That was my fault.
That is incredibly honest of you. We appreciate that. You're a great competitor, even more so for doing that. So thank you very much for coming along. But that means that we now have the full shape of our final four, and it looks like this. Gentlemen, to remain on the server, please. We have Warren Greener versus Ryan Cider, Serban Mate versus Shay Mccullough. This is an extraordinary moment. It is the first time we have got to a Final Four, and there has only been one S13.5. We have 4 different cars with 4 different drivers, all within touching distance of tonight's victory. Now, I'm going to feel real bone-weary sadness if after all of this Shay manages to still get the 13.5 onto the top step. Not because it's Shay, I think he's a fantastic driver, but just because I'm so sick of the 13.5 winning these events. It's a great car, but these guys are all in with a chance. They've been driving brilliantly all night. 4 different cars. Let's see what happens. Warren Greener, first of all, to lead in Ryan Cider for our first run of the final 4. This is it. People can vary from Ben to Martin Richards on some weeks. Yes, we get Martin Richards in here. Martin Richards, D-Mech driver. We get a whole host of guys in here. I'm going to put you guys under starters orders now just to get us going. So, Warren G to lead in Ryan Cider.
The fuck up, dude.
But he
Hello, I'm back here.
About the entry.
Was that a Benjamin?
It is, yes.
There he is.
I just caught up, dude, so that worked out really well on the timing. Yeah, so just we're talking to the guys on the stream. So we get Martin Richards in here. We get a number of BDC pros in here. We've had other guys from Pro European Championships joining in. We've had guys from lower rank Formula D stuff for American competitions. We got guys here as well. We are off. That is it. Ryan Cider chasing in Warren Greener. This is V8 battle versus V8 battle. This is all of the final points on the table as they've got to get through to the final here. Ryan absolutely surging up onto that line, trying to get up onto the door of Warren Greener as he comes through. That little RX-8 is so fast around this track. Ryan surging up now. Look at that, well controlled in that almost double slowdown from Warren G. Oh my word. Warren G double slowing there, and Ryan doing a great job of keeping out the side door as we come round and line up ready to send the other half of this battle. Ryan Cider to lead in Warren Greener. This is for a place in the final. Our first place in the final. Who's it going to be? Ryan Cider off the line, Warren Greener in the chase position. They come firing down, going into this initiation. Big flick in from Ryan right on that initiation point. Warren G is right there. Look at him pushing up onto the door of that Mustang. That is a fantastic bit of chase driving from Warren G as they come through into the slowdown here. The transition's going to be crucial. Just getting left behind by Ryan on that transition. Ryan right the way to the outside, filling 5 most of the way round. Possibly a slight bit more than Warren, but this slowdown's going to be up. Is Warren going to be able to hold it as he comes through into this infield section? Nicely done from both drivers. That big Mustang firing round out onto that outside line, pushing forwards and across the line. Well, support for Ryan on the chat. Do we think it's enough? Chris Ennis. It's a tricky one.
Ryan does certainly have a stronger lead run. Much more consistent angle and more angle, so it does make him easier to chase. And despite that, Warren isn't as aggressive in being close, and I would argue that that Ryan has a better lead line. So chase to chase, I'd say it's fairly comparable. For me, it's the lead to lead that seals it. It's the aggression, the angle, and the overall line. Bar clip A, Ryan does a much better job than Warren did. So I would personally just give it to Ryan. Again, very tight margins, like sort of like, you know, 6-4 Ryan on the first run and then like 5.5 on the second run sort of thing, so it's like half a point margin overall, like really tight call. But yeah, I would just give it Ryan.
Yeah, it's the lead to lead. It's tricky because Ryan doesn't fill 5 for as long, but he has a much cleaner slowdown going out of 6. And chase versus chase, I mean,
see, now I'd say Ryan drops wheels on the grass.
Yeah, but there's a few people that have been doing that, and it doesn't really seem to affect very much.
It hasn't been causing this. It didn't cause a slowdown. If anything, I think it has it one more time. I think that's absolutely split as even errors from both drivers.
See, for me, Warren was closer in the first couple of clips, although on less angle, but he's got less power. But yeah, Ryan was a bit more aggressive overall.
Really well.
As I say, for me, I'd just give it to Ryan. For me, chase to chase, they're very comparable overall, but for me, it's just Ryan having that bit more aggressive lead, and also I feel that his lead line overall was a little bit better.
Yeah, overall, except for clip 5, I do think it was better.
So, as I say, for me, it's like half a point margin overall. I would just edge it to Ryan.
Chris? Ennis?
Yeah, I can go with that.
If you think it's one more time, you say one more time.
Yep, that's how this shit works.
Now Chris has explained his views. I can see them.
I do agree with Chris in a number of ways there, but the thing for me is I think Ryan's lead was overall very good, but I think he makes the mistake coming out of 5 very early. He's pretty much 2 wheels out of 5 before the last third of the clip, whereas...
Oh, I wouldn't have said it was...
I don't know. For me, I don't think it's that bad because there's a lot of people that have been coming off the back of 5 a little early. He's not the first to do it by far.
No, but I don't
still
think
got the boot in.
He has still got
He's
the boot
still in it.
But I don't know if it balances out against that double slowdown from Warren coming into that final section.
No, I'm sorry, you can't say that having a double slowdown and thus not paying attention to the XLD cell map is comparable to coming off one clip a little early.
Watch it again, Ben, on the replay. He's got his wheels on the line till the end.
He's still in the clip. He's just not filling the clip.
Well, any closer he'd have been in the wall, I think.
There is also that. Yeah, that. It's got a big ass.
All right.
Yeah.
You two agree. You two agree with that, don't you? You give it to Ryan.
Yeah.
So for me, half a point overall, like just
okay.
right.
I mean, it's not by much, but yeah.
All right, I shall go and render the result. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. You are live on the stream. We have a result. I would like to highlight that this is by half a point from 2 of our judges, and I went with a one more time. So overall, this is out of a possible 30 point or 60 point advantage almost. This is a 1 point victory. But we have reached a decision. It is not unanimous.
I feel like we need a drum roll.
You can do your own drum roll if you want.
We need a pause. We need a pause.
So, going to the final is a driver with a V8 who's been making it all the way through fairly regularly recently.
Oh, they're both
very strong.
Drum roll, please.
His car got 4 wheels.
His car is a car. But in this instance, going to the final is Ryan Cider. Well done, Ryan.
This one, boys.
GG, mate. That was
It was a cracking battle.
enjoyed
It
that.
was really close. It came down to the finest margins when we were looking back at that areas. But Warren, that means that you are in the fight for 3rd place. We don't know yet who you'll be facing. Is it Serban Mate or is it Shay Mccullough? Shay Mccullough to chase in 1st. You gentlemen are now under starters' orders, and as you have control. Thank you. Well. This is getting interesting as we go into this section. I went one more time in the end. I agree with Johnny and Mr. Tropical Pigeon. It was a serious run, but I can see where these guys are coming from with their margins. But that means that we now have to see Shay Mccullough chase in Serban Mate as they are already off, firing down the line here. This is going to be a really big one. This is for the 2nd place in the final. Serban snaps to angle hugely, and it catches out. Shay's lost it onto the grass there. That has gone really badly wrong for him as Serban Mate gathers it all up in that E92. Shay's surging forwards, trying to get back in this battle, but he's having to cut clip 5 completely on the dive into that inside section, grinding it out, coming down onto the inside line now. Sir Matei's nicely tied it up into this final section. Is Shay going to be able to bring it back together? Right on the door there through the final part of the clip and across the line, but that is going to be a big error to overcome.
But I mean, all Serby has to do here is stay a car length back and not make a mistake.
Yes.
Not crash into him.
Quickly, let me get the commentator's curse out. This is Serban Matei's battle to lose. It has gone all his way in that first run. He can... Oh, my word!
Oh. Okay, that was a
lag.
lot of lag.
That was a lot of lag.
As in, like, I saw the lag.
Yeah,
because
I saw the lag
my
as well.
computer felt like it lagged, and there's no way my computer just lagged.
That was...
I've got a Ryzen a 5600 and a 1080 Ti. There is no way I just lagged.
That was definitely a thing. As Shay nicely
Wait,
shortcuts
is
the
that
whole
allowed?
track to give us something to watch in this final section. That is a thing.
I mean, I'm going to go with what we saw on stream, because I sort of saw the same thing my side, which is Cormac just sort of teleported.
Yeah, he vanished.
Which means that...
yeah.
Sorry, Shay. Well,
Yeah,
insert Irish person number X here.
Oof.
There's so many of them. But yeah, for me,
Yeah.
that's... Yeah,
Well, I was just about to
Shay's
say,
connection let him down.
if anyone could throw it away, it's Serby.
That is true.
He managed not.
But he managed to avoid it there, and he takes that through in my book. That was just a simple
Yep.
application of the rules, taking it through to that section. So we now
Yep.
know the shape of our final.
But first,
we now also know the shape of our third, fourth face-off. Let me go and tell them all how that's looking.
how that's shaped.
Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. You are live on the stream. Thank you very much. I'm afraid we're going to have to apply some of the straight-up rules here. That was, in the end, a very, very simple decision. After one driver managed to disappear into the nth dimension and then reappear somewhere else around the track, we have been forced to give that battle to Serban Matei, who will go through to the final and face Ryan Cider. Shay Mccullough faces Warren Greener first in the third, fourth playoff. This is Warren Greener to lead first, Shay Mccullough to chase. You gentlemen are now immediately under starters' orders. We are not going to have a 13-5 at the top of the podium. This is a very exciting day.
Brilliant.
Anders, you have control. So that's it. This is the first time in a long time that we've been in a position where we are not going to definitely see a 13-5 at the top of the podium. This is a very, very exciting run, and it looks like we are going straight into it. Anders has control of the guys on the start. Shay Mccullough is already off the line there as they come firing in down into that initiation, and Shay's pushing Warren there. I didn't see anything from Warren that required that kind of impact as we come through into this section. Now firing round into clip 5, back on the power as they come through, out onto this outside line. Shay is just getting his rage on here. Look at him go, diving up onto Warren there, round the outside now, as we go through into the transition, diving in up onto clip 8 and across the line. Well, that is a thing. Caleb Dopheny, Serbs is on fire. Serbs is indeed on fire. He's looking really good. It's going to be great to watch that final, but first we have to get through this.
And then keeps hitting him.
Warren Greener to chase in. Shay Mccullough. Warren Greener in the chase position. It's V8 versus 13.5. Are we going to see this as we go diving in? Nice initiation from both guys. Look at Warren Greener keeping that proximity with that RX V8 nicely into this slowdown section. Up over the hump, here's the transition. Nicely up onto Shay's door, keeping it pinned as we come through clip 5. We know that there was an error as we go through into this transition. Are we going to see any more errors from Warren? Is he going to be able to gather it all together? Look at that slowdown, beautifully controlled as we come through. Another little lag bump there from Shay, but it's all well under control. Warren is pinning it to his door nicely and across the line. Gentlemen,
Warren.
do not tell me the result on stream. Do we have a winner? Is it who I think?
Blindingly obvious.
Okay, well, that is fine. I just need to know for sure.
I mean,
Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We are not going to announce it now, but we do have a winner. Thank you very much for your participation. You may return to the pits. We now call Ryan Cider and Serban Mate to the line for the final. Ryan Cider to lead in first, Serban Mate to chase. Ryan, please make sure this week that you do have your tune set onto the car.
Yeah.
We don't want to repeat
that's the beauty of not leaving, you see.
And you are now under starters orders. Serban Mate to chase him first. Good luck, gentlemen. Let's have a great final. Anders, you have control. Well, Serban Mate to chase in Ryan Cider. We are definitely not going to see a 13.5 on the top of the podium. This is a very exciting week. It's good to see this all going on. I'm happy it's finally happened. Stajan, Bruyan69, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you for coming along. We hope you're enjoying the stream. Here we go. This is important. Let's see it. Come on, guys. 3, 2, 1. They're off the line. I'm not doing the counting. I don't know why. I'm just too excited. I've lost the ability to function. I want to see this final. Let's go. Ryan Cider sending it in hard. Serban Mate is right there. Look at him push up onto the door. Serby wanting to make sure that he stamps his authority onto this early, because we know Ryan's been looking good in that chase position up into this infield section. Serban Mate diving up onto Ryan. This is it. Nicely there. Ryan right out on the wall, holding it all the way to the end of 5 now. Here's the transition. Looking good from Serby. Ryan just getting that tyre out onto the grass as he has done a couple of times, but this time it's too much. This time it's gone wrong for Ryan in the lead position. This time he might have thrown it away. It's going to come down to the second half of this battle as Serby pins it to the Mustang across the line. Oh, it's full of drama. I love it when it's full of drama.
I wouldn't rate that as bad a mistake as you were sort of going for the hype on, because to me that was actually sensible lead driving from Ryan.
Don't you take this hype away from me. I'm the hype man. Is what I'm doing. Is what I'm here for. You shush. It doesn't matter. We'll come back to it in a minute when we have to do sensible judging things. No. We have to do sensible judging things after. Damn it, after. Come on, let's see the second half of this battle. This one is for all the marbles. Ryan Cider to chase in Serban Mate. Here we go. It's exciting. Let's see the final half of the final battle, or will we be going one more time? Hopefully this is it. Hopefully we have a winner. Hopefully we see a great battle. They are under starters orders. Whenever Anders sends them, that is when we are going. It looks like they're ready to go. I'm hearing some revs, and they're off. Ryan Cider is through that straight. We haven't had anyone hit the cones tonight. That's been great to see as Serban Mate fires it in for the final time. Ryan Cider trying to keep up with him as they come out to clip 2, tightening in onto this inside section. Ryan trying to reel him back in, but he's just not got the proximity that Serby had going through that first section. Now into the infield. Here we come. Now Ryan trying to reel him back in. This is it. The dive onto the door. Look at that big Mustang coming surging up onto the E92. Through the transition now into the slowdown. The Mustang diving there as Serby hooks it nicely in onto 7. Good positioning from Ryan. This is the surge we need. Oh, and there's contact. Ryan gets too eager in the final. Does that mean we have a winner? Is that it? Chris and Chris, if you have a verdict, please send it to me via the chat. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's just boring. You asked us here to be on the stream to explain calls, and now no, don't explain the calls.
Just for the final.
Oh, he's still here.
So sad.
I was going to say,
why is everyone so random name? Just send me random names. James Bloss. I have one verdict. Chris Ennis. I have 2 verdicts. I can confirm that in this instance it is going to be unanimous. Right, let me go and drop in on the chat and talk to them. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your help this evening. It has been very well received. You've both been fantastic. It's been a real help. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've thoroughly enjoyed having everyone here. It's been a really good event, and I think the drivers have enjoyed this track, but it has been a great pleasure chatting with you both all evening. I'm now going to head down into the other chat and talk to the drivers. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. You are live on the stream. Please do not swear. We can tell you that from both of those battles, we have decided on a winner. We have a final podium that is complete. I can confirm that this week's podium is very exciting in terms of how it stacks up. We've enjoyed it a lot. I want to thank you all for coming along and for involving yourselves in this week's competition. It's been a real pleasure having you all here. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you'll all come back again next time.
More importantly, thank you for hosting it.
Well, you're most welcome. And thank you to Chris and Chris for helping with the judging. On the whole, we've all been of one mind. There have been a few mixed calls, and that's been interesting to see. The stream's filling up with people saying thank you very much. The people there appreciating it, thank you to you on the stream for watching. That is all largely irrelevant, and I'm using it just to make Ryan and Serby wait for their result. In fact, all four of these drivers wait.
Anyone with a brain already knows the result.
There's no point waiting.
So,
That's true.
in third place this week
He's
is
really been a cock tease.
Warren Greener. Congratulations, you managed to ensure
Nice
that
job,
there
Warren.
is no 13.5 on the podium.
Nice
That
job.
is a huge achievement. However, the final, in the end, only went one way. And this week, our winner is Serban Matei. Congratulations on your win. You are this week's winner. Very well done to both drivers. That was an absolutely fantastic final to watch. Really enjoyed that hugely. But this time, our podium shapes up as Serban Matei, the winner, Ryan Cider in second place, and Warren Greener in third. An all non-13.5 layout. That is fantastic. Great to see. We've really, really enjoyed that. Yes, hello.
I need to say this before you end the stream because I know you're quite quick at it. Shay was asking, can we all line up on the pits for a picture?
I was just about to suggest.
on the track.
I mean, whoever that is in the red car, that didn't work.
Are we doing it in the right order, or are we just gonna?
this way?
Oh yeah, like
Does
a
it matter
fan.
where?
Yeah, go on, Serby, get in the middle. Sometime.
Yeah, so let's get that.
Serby
We'll
sandwich.
come back to that live stream with no camera.
That is not a phrase I want to hear.
What, Serby get in the middle?
No, Serby sandwich. It's just...
Serby sandwich. Oh, it's everything I've dreamed of and more. Let's get down over to here. So there you are. That is your podium. With Harry Fox loitering in the background just to try and loom in people. Oh, look, in a surprise thing, there is a Mustang looming in the background. But there it is, folks. That is how it shapes up. That is from left to right. There we go. He's leaving now. But that was fourth place there of Shay Mccullough. Third place there of Warren Greener. Ryan Cider in silver, the second position over on the right, and Serban Matei, our winner this week. Thank you to everyone at home for your support. Thank you for coming along and watching. Thank you to these guys for their support for our real life cars, for the Tsujigiri team cars in real life, and for also their support on the stream. That is Eclipse Motorsport, Chris Ennis, What Would Dango Do, Carl Farrar, Graham's Performance and Design for their injectors that we use on our real cars, Retro Speed Shop, we use them for our knuckles and fabrication. Thank you to Ian from Retro Speed Shop for that. Fiber Factory provide us with their body kit, and Accelera Tyres for their support. This has been this Friday's edition of the Tsujigiri Collective Drift Challenge. Thank you very much to everyone at home for watching. Please do try and get involved next time yourselves. Go via the website. It is tsujigiri.world, and we will see you next week for another new track, another whole new chance for people to turn over this week's result at next week's competition. Thank you so much for coming along, and we will see you all